Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.
Champions Liverpool and the FA Cup winners Crystal Palace. We'll also get the latest on Newcastle's stuttering transfer window and take a closer look at Brighton's summer business. With me, the former Liverpool, Everton and Newcastle midfielder Don Hutchinson, the former Palace and Brighton striker Glenn Murray, and chief football writer at The Independent, Miguel Delaney. Hello, gents. Good, thank you. Good, thank you. Are we excited for the new season then, next weekend?
I am. I think it's fair to say, Maz. My summer was pretty chock. I was over in America during the Club World Cup. Then I spent a week over in Ireland at Port Rush watching the golf. And then I went glamping last week. So yeah, can't wait to get back.
Glenn, can't really respond to that, can you? I know.
I can't compete with Don's answer there. It sounds like that is a Carlsberg summer break, Don.
Well, there was kids involved, so there's plenty of Carlsberg for sure.
I think we're going to talk about it quite a lot over the next few minutes, but when we look at the Premier League clubs and activity or less activity in this summer transfer window, who do we think has had the best summer and who do we think's had the worst?
I think Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool has the best. I mean, from speaking to a few executives at other clubs, I think there's even an element of surprise. Because, I mean, they expected Liverpool to build from a position of strength, but it's sort of the level they've gone to. They've not just kind of improved the champion, the title squad. They've bought game-changing players. Well, especially one so far in Florian Wirtz, and potentially a second in Alexander Isak. And I think it's all the more relevant, and we'll probably get onto this in the context, say, of the title race and maybe Arsenal, because it has felt like for 2 years that Arsenal were the club that were on the brink of maybe getting that final game-changing signing to propel them to the title. Liverpool stole ahead of them last year, and to be fair, there were all sorts of other variables. And now, I mean, Arsenal have done decent business. They've solved areas they needed from their squad.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook,
Glenn, do you agree?
Instagram,
this is something
Twitter,
Miguel and I and our other guests last week were talking about, that Arsenal now appear to have strength and depth in every position, but still it seems like Liverpool perhaps have had the strongest summer.
Yeah, I agree with the guys. I think Liverpool have been really clever strengthening that position of power. Good awareness of what they needed. I like their business in their fullback areas especially. It's going to add a lot of athleticism to their squad, and I really can't see past them. And as for the worst, I mean, it's really difficult to say, isn't it, because there's a lot of transfers still to be made. But one club that I think has had a good window is Manchester United. As far as recent transfer windows goes for that football club, I feel there's been some positive signs.
Given as well, obviously they haven't got European football to offer as well, John.
Absolutely. I mean, I watched Antonio Conte's Napoli last season in Serie A run to the title because they had no European football, so it can be a massive help. I think from what I've heard behind the scenes, talking to one or two guys that are quite close to the inner sanctums of Man United, they feel as though, from the internal point of view, they looked at Liverpool and they've looked at Man City and they're starting to think that way. So what they were thinking when they made the signings that were quite rash, in the likes of Xerxes and Højlund, they were future and good young players with potential, and many others, Gorgu another. But I think what they've done, they've looked at Liverpool and thought, how many signs have Liverpool made that they're going to be around for a long time? Loads of them, Alisson, Andy Robertson, you can go anywhere, Virgil van Dijk. The list is pretty endless, and Man City are the same with the likes of Rodri and many others. And Man United now have looked at Liverpool and Man City and thought, that's the way we've got to go. So we've got to sign players now that are going to be at the football club for a long time. So Bruno Fernandes, keeping him is a massive plus. Then you add Mbeumo, who hit 20 goals last season. Cunha is going to be very interesting to watch because he plays lots of motion. You'll see a red card in him. I don't mind that.
Remember to check
I never like to see anyone try to knock a player like Cunha or Wayne Rooney when they got loads of red cards, as long as it didn't detract away from their performance levels. And now Benjamin Šeško, I mean, he's raw. He's not the finished article. It's a lot of money for close to 75 million on a 22-year-old. That's got potential, but Rasmus Højlund had that potential as well. So hope Man United fans can be a little bit patient with Šeško. He doesn't hit the ground running, but I agree with Glenn. I think they've had a good window, but Liverpool have done something that FSG have not done for an awful long time. I mean, Liverpool won the title last year with spending just £10 million on Federico Chiesa, so that was just remarkable. Now they're just playing fantasy football because, in a weird way, they don't even need Alexander Isak because Ekitike's that player. So yes, they're going to raise the bar, and if they get Alexander Isak, you just go, my word, they are pushing the boundaries to a whole new level.
The other thing about Liverpool, and they've done this at a couple of windows really, is that they've got their business, and maybe Isak is added to it later on this window, we'll see, and we'll talk about it more in a moment, but they've done their business nice and early in the window. It seems very organised, and in a sense actually, Manchester United, as Glenn was saying there, about having a good window, getting your business done nice and early, getting your house in order before some of the last minute deals, that is the way to go, and Liverpool are leading the way in that.
Yeah, and it's all the more important actually, I think, in, like, we talk about this all the time now, modern football. It's a very systemised game now, with managers who a bit of debate over whether now too many are too idealistic, but even still, everyone has systems they play, and it's all the more important for every single member of that squad to be properly drilled in that system. In fact, we've already seen an example of an issue of the other way this summer with, say, Gyökeres's debut for Arsenal, his game so far, where through no fault of his own, maybe kind of the amount of time it took to get the deal done with Sporting, he's clearly not drilled in Arteta's system. And it looks so, I mean, one of the things that stood out when I was watching Arsenal is obviously that players like Odegaard will need to get the ball to him much more quickly than they're used to, because that's just the way he plays. That's something he's going to have to speed with, and that is the benefit of what Liverpool and Manchester United and City, to be fair, I suppose, when they've done a lot of their business early. In terms of the worst, I mean, I was just thinking there as you said it, and it's all the more relevant to this issue of kind of drilling players early. I mean, you can't look beyond Newcastle. And the weird thing there is, I mean, I was talking to someone who was connected to the club last night. They were saying, if you stood back and it was taken on its own terms, a window where, as yet, they haven't actually lost the player, although let's see what happens with Isaac, obviously. They've made one or two additions. They will eventually get two forwards. This will be one of them, maybe one more. But given that they won the trophy in March, which kind of released the club, then qualifying for the Champions League emboldened them. And obviously the expectation from that was that this would kind of consolidate the squad, they wouldn't have to sell, it maybe push them onto their level. And given the amount of players they've missed out on, that's what's created this negative mood. I mean, as it stands, the squad that got them into the Champions League, but obviously it's just been surrounded by negativity and a failure to push on.
It's funny that you say that, Miguel. I go back probably 3 or 4 weeks being a Newcastle fan myself, and I was unbelievably optimistic of where Newcastle could go this season because there was no talk of Alexander Isak going. They put a record bid in for Ekitike, and I'm thinking, in my humble opinion, they've got the best midfield in the country. I mean, Liverpool fans might argue, that's a great debate, but I think Newcastle's midfield complement each other, all three of them. Then on top of Langan and Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes, all the competition for places, I thought, this is Newcastle kicking on. This with Ekitike and Alexander Isak, this to me feels like a team in the club now that could challenge the top three. And all of a sudden, you fast forward a couple of weeks, Ekitike moves on to Liverpool, brilliant signing for them. And then all of a sudden now, Liverpool coming in for their star man, and there's rumours that about Tonali going to Juve and it's swapped in for Vlahovic. So it's incredible how flat the window's been, and they are desperately needing strikers. They're desperately needing top quality players to try and keep into that top four.
Don, do you think there's been a slight breakdown in communication at the club? Because I feel as though if they'd sat down with Isaac at the start of the summer and he made them aware that he wanted to leave the football club, then they might have not missed out on the likes of Ekitike. And also, I suppose, when you zoom out and you look at the Premier League in general, it's just a really unfortunate window for Newcastle to want a 9, because the likes of Chelsea, who are probably a slightly bigger draw, so you get Chelsea, United, Arsenal, all wanting 9s as well. So it's just unfortunate, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's a compliment in a way. If you look at it from a half glass point of view, it's a compliment that Newcastle are shopping in the same windows, the likes of Liverpool and Man United, because we're not a mid-table club that are trying to sign, sort of bargain players for cheap money and hoping that they can sort of reach the top sort of 6 or 7 in European football. Newcastle are trying to kick on to being established. I know it's, they missed out on Champions League football last year, but they had it the season before. And this PSG team has been lauded for being the best team in the country, in Europe, and rightly so because they are. But Newcastle fans have the best time of their life when they demolish them 4 or 5 at St James's. They give them a real good hiding. So Newcastle, I feel as though are trying to kick on. So you're right, they've missed out on Mbeumo, they've missed out on Ekitike, they've missed out on Sesko. So I think Miguel's right, they're probably going to try and sign 2 strikers. From what I'm hearing up in the up in the northeast, they're not going to be happy with one striker going to allow Isak to go. They're going to want two. So you would have thought the 25 million Johan Wissa will be that man, and then it's where else they go. I mean, if the communication levels were there, they should have signed Victor Osimhen, who then went to Galatasaray. That's the player they should have had their eye on. So maybe it's someone a bit left field like Ollie Watkins, but they're going to have to sign top quality players to try and keep them in the top four.
I mean, Newcastle are playing a friendly tonight at St James's Park against Espanyol. There's no Alexander Isak at all involved in the matchday squad. I mean, what is next for him? Because does it feel, Don, that kind of the relationship with Newcastle has broken down so much, there is no way back? Is Liverpool now back on the table? A week ago, it wasn't after their initial bid.
Remember to check out
I think Eddie Howe's playing a good hand. I think he's playing the manager hand where he's saying, you know, you walked away from the training camp, you come back home, you were missing for, 4 or 5 days. You can't just roll straight back into first team training. You know, me and Glenn have probably been in that situation before, or we know how players act. And if me and Glenn were both at Newcastle, and we'd been away running the hard yards in pre-season, Alexander Isak was away, and I use this phrase very loosely, but down tools for a few days because his head was turned. And then we go back to the training camp in Newcastle, the training ground, and Isak walks straight back into our training regime and all the drills and the tactics. We'd be like, hang on a minute, like what's he doing now? So I think Eddie Howe's played a really good and strong hand by saying, listen, you've got to earn the right and you've got to earn the respect of your teammates to come back in, and also you've got to show the right character to want to come back in, because the Premier League starts in a week's time. We can try and get you up to speed as quick as possible. So I think it's all open. I think the chances of Alexander Isak going and staying are 50-50, because if Liverpool don't come in with £140 million and Newcastle don't get two strikers, he ain't going. And he's got 3 years left on his contract, so it's very delicate.
And on that as well, what's he going to do? Sit on the bench for a year? I mean, we know that's not going to happen. It's not realistic for him either. But just on that point, Don, and this is a question, I suppose, for the two former players, Glenn and Don. When a player does that, would you see, and say you're in a squad and that happens, would you see it as almost a referendum on yourself, kind of him kind of giving his opinion on the squad and the players, or do you see it as almost kind of like, well, he's a professional and he has to fulfill his career, or is it a bit of both even?
I think it's a kick in the teeth.
Miguel, you've asked 2 generations here.
I think it's a kick in the teeth, though. I think if you're Anthony Gordon, who was trying to be prized away from Liverpool and stayed, I think it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth to suggest that, okay, you've got an ego, you're the top man, you want to leave, and we're all doing the training behind the scenes because we're going to get ourselves ready. But then again, when he walks through that door into the first day of training, I guarantee you, the players will be absolutely fine. They'll be absolutely fine with it. I know how players are. Glenn's been around players. We've been around players where, there's been real troubled times, and then soon, all of a sudden, a player can waltz back into the training ground, and he just has a big, massive smile, and the players go, come on, man. Let's just bury it. Let's just get on with it.
At the end of the day, they're friends. So he's trying to look after himself. Listen, there will be some players in the squad that I doubt they'll let their feelings be known, that their nose will have been put out, and they probably more than likely will be strikers that they haven't got many of. But there'll be some, if he walks back in on the first day of the season and starts that game, will be absolutely delighted to see him. And I'm thinking of the midfield 3, because he just gives them that option all the time, running beyond, always there to short the feet, and ultimately he's a game changer.
Maz, I'll give you a very quick story. It's completely different to this situation, but I'm just recalling the scenario that I had when I played for Sheffield United in the semi-final playoff down at Portland Road against Ipswich. And Richo Torrico was a left back, and he's a nasty piece of work, but he was all right because we all had a sort of edge to us back in the day. And we won and went to the final, and I went to shake his hand, and he'd done the unthinkable. He spat in my face, which was horrible. And I pulled my hand back to chin him, and Jan Argafiortov was our teammate behind me, and he pulled my arm back to stop me from chinning him. And if I'd have missed the playoff final down at Wembley against Crystal Palace. Now, fast forward, we lost that game. Fast forward about 6 months, and Alan Pardew takes over. Who does he sign? He signs Torrico, the left back. And he walks into the West Ham training ground, and I look at him, and he looks at me. We both just laughed and went, right? You just get on with it. You just bury it. It's just the nature of the beast. That's what it is. That's what life and times have been inside the dressing room.
In terms of Benjamin, it's because of...
Now, of course, the club insists on their innocence. But for the second season in a row, I mean, I remember writing on my preview for The Independent this time last year.
Remember
this
to
could be
check
an
out
unprecedented season because
social
the
channels
table
on
might
Facebook,
change
Instagram,
due to a disciplinary
Twitter,
case.
and TikTok.
Well, now we go into another season with that hanging over it. But for the moment, that's just a potential. City insisting their innocence. There mightn't be any punishment at all. But it does just kind of, it's that factor hanging there. But there's an element of unknown about City, I suppose, because we haven't really seen, since 2017, Guardiola bring through a new team at the club in this way. Arsenal, I think, should be in a good place, but it's just that feeling that maybe it's going to be second place again. Perhaps Arsenal basically should have gone for an Isak. And this is what's slightly surprising about the Donny Madueke signing. Not to criticise him as a player, but it didn't exactly feel like a position for 48 million that Arsenal exactly needed. And surely that 48 million, given what they've ended up spending 65 million or so on Gyökeres, could they not have put that money and the Gyökeres money towards maybe a pitch for a striker of Isak's level? We know they want him. And that's the sort of signing that becomes the real game changer.
Player ratings,
Don,
shot maps,
up there, you're
and
nodding
more
away there.
in-depth info
Liverpool,
on the
Man
match page.
City, Arsenal.
The usual suspects. I think Chelsea are an interesting team to keep an eye out on. Just looking at their results so far, they're playing Leverkusen right now, and the young boy Estevao, who I commentated on the Club World Cup, has scored. So they're going to be very interesting. I think a couple of weeks back, or certainly a month ago, when everyone was talking about the lads of Isak and Gyökeres and all these top-class number 9s, the two that never got a mention was Ekitike and one was João Pedro. Two centre-forwards that are really brainy, really clever. They link the play really well. They come short, they've got ability, they've got a trick, they want to score goals. And I think João Pedro for Chelsea could be an absolutely brilliant sign. It's exactly what they've needed. Delap's going to be an interesting one, whether he gets game time. And then all of a sudden you read that Nicholas Jackson's been linked with the likes of Newcastle for £80 million. I mean, it's incredible numbers. I mean, I'd rather put another 20 to that and try and sign Lautaro Martinez for £100 million from Inter Milan. So the numbers that get banded around at the moment is just
on Facebook,
it's incredible,
Instagram,
really. But
Twitter,
when you look at the business
TikTok.
that Liverpool have done on the back of being champions last season and being superb, to sign Florian Wirtz was a brilliant signing. To replace the two full-backs, outstanding work. The young boys in midfield like Gravenberg, they're still very young and they've still got so much more to give. And then you add Ekitike and you add potentially Isak. I mean, how do you stop them?
The one thing we do have to mention with Liverpool, out of respect for something else, is of course Diogo Jota. Now, I know this is an uncomfortable discussion to have, but I mean, and obviously the football side of this pales next to the reality of a young man losing his life and affecting the family. But football has to be played, and you do, I suppose. And I was talking with someone within Liverpool about this the other day, in that they don't really know how the squad is going to react in the long term. And I can't think of a situation, a tragedy comparable to this in modern football.
Audio commentary.
I mean, we are going back
to
into
check
like
out player
the Busby
ratings,
Babe,
shot maps,
the
and
emotional
more
effect of
in-depth info
Hillsborough, perhaps,
on the
in
match
terms of
page.
like the effect on the champions, and that is something that could, again, it feels so incongruous and strange to be discussing a tragedy like that in the context of football, but it will affect it, or it could affect it. It is something that's there. And I suppose we just don't know how the team are going to react. And on the other side, of course, they're going to wear number 20 on their shirt all year. And I mean, there might well be a sense of actually trying to do it for the Euro. I think you can already see that in pre-season.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It does feel like it has been a galvanising thing that's brought the players, that's brought the squad, that's brought everybody at Liverpool together in a sense, at least from the outset of the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I imagine that'll be the aim, is to honour Diogo Jota. And do you know what? Anfield and Liverpool, it's an emotional place, and when they all become one, it's a scary proposition, and they could do special things this season off the back of
Remember to
that.
check out
Well, let's talk about Crystal
social
Palace,
channels
because
on
they're
Facebook,
Liverpool's
Instagram,
opponents
Twitter,
in the Community
and
Shield
TikTok.
on Sunday. They won the FA Cup, of course, last season, the club's first major trophy. It should have made it a summer to savour for Palace, but instead it's been one clouded by uncertainty over which European competition they're going to play in. We're expecting clarification on whether it will be the Conference League or the Europa League next week from the Court of Arbitration for Sport. But let's hear from Oliver Glasner. He was asked earlier today if the ongoing court case has impacted their pre-season.
Not at all. So the first meeting we had after when we met, it was just mentioned it once. One slogan for us is we want to focus on the things we can influence. And so we can't influence the decision of the UEFA, we can influence on the decision of the CAS. So it just makes some sense, and the players really did very well. The whole pre-season training worked very hard.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page.
And our job is to prepare for competitions, because we will play definitely 4 competitions, and we're looking forward to this. And again, our job is to be best prepared, and this is what we want to do.
John, it feels like there's parallels with what you were saying a few minutes ago about Newcastle and the situations kind of Crystal Palace. You think about May and those amazing scenes of celebration at Wembley Stadium, and we find ourselves here a few months later with a real lack of activity in the transfer market for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, but I think the most important thing for Crystal Palace is they've brought 4 or 5 players in, squad players, which they're going to bolster the squad. But the most important thing for their window is not allowing any of the big boys to go. So they can't allow the likes of Mateta to go, or Eze, or Adam Wharton. There's so many players that were a fantastic story last year. And you know, when you watch the Premier League unfold over the years, and you have a favourite team, and
remember to
Palace
check
were that
out
for me last season. I had no doubt really that they'd win the cup final. It was just sort of written in the stars. I thought Oliver Glasner might have moved to the Bundesliga in the summer, so he stayed, which is a massive plus. So the window from now till when it closes is, as it stands right here, right now, a very good one, because as I said, some of their star players have stayed, and they might stay one more year. The test will be Mark Gurley, because the likes of Newcastle and Liverpool are still looking for the centre-back. I think he's only got 1 year left on his contract, so Palace might feel as though they might need to cash in or they give him a new contract. But they're a brilliant story. Whatever European competition they play in, when we get the news on Monday, they've absolutely deserved it.
But are they going to keep, you know, Eberechi is the big one, obviously the Arsenal target, and he's the one that feels like he's the creative outlet for them. Gehi has done saying into the last 12 months of his contract. I mean, these are big players to try and replace at the last minute if the moves do come for him, Glenn.
Yeah, I mean,
Crystal Palace and Liverpool meet at Wembley for English football's customary curtain raiser this afternoon in the Community Shield. This will be Palace's first ever appearance in the Community Shield, as they finally won their first piece of silverware by winning the FA Cup last season, while Liverpool won the Premier League title at a canter. A strong record at Wembley continued for Crystal Palace when they defied the odds to beat Manchester City in the FA Cup final back in May, ending their 120-year wait for a first major honour. That was Palace's 4th win in 6 trips to Wembley neutral ties, and even though the last 4 Community Shield debutants have all lost, 7 of the last 9 winners are coming to the fixture as FA Cup holders. There are high hopes for the season ahead, with many predicting Palace to improve on their 12th place finish from last season. Oliver Glasner's men are expected to have European commitments to contend with too, though. It is just unclear what competition that will be in. If their appeal against demotion to the Conference League is successful, they will go straight into the league phase of the Europa League. But if not, it is likely that they will be playing in a 2-legged qualifier this month against Fredrikstad in the Conference League. Palace concluded their pre-season preparation with a double-header against Augsburg away in Germany last week, where their first team won by 3-1, but their reserve 11 were beaten 1-0 by the Bundesliga club. And now it is Liverpool next for them, who have won 12 of the last 16 head-to-heads. But Palace are much more competitive in cup competitions, having only been beaten in 2 of the last 6 encounters. While this is Palace's first taste of the Community Shield, Liverpool is seeking to claim the trophy for the 17th time in what will be their 25th appearance. And Liverpool may have lost the EFL Cup final back here in March against Newcastle, but they were runaway winners of the Premier League in Arne Slot's first season at the helm. And a good omen for this fixture is that they've never lost at Wembley twice in the same year. But the Reds have only added 1 Community Shield to their trophy cabinet since 2006. The reigning champions finished their pre-season preparations with a double-header against Athletic Bilbao on Monday night, where the first team won 3-2 after the B team have put in an impressive performance with a 4-1 victory. And Slotsmen also beat Preston and Yokohama Marinos earlier in pre-season, but they're yet to keep a clean sheet in any of their 5 friendlies. And the Premier League season will get underway at Anfield on Friday night when the champions welcome Bournemouth, with Liverpool starting the season as favourites to retain their title. Let's talk you through a lineup. Starter Crystal Palace, that is Dean Henderson in goal. Backliner Chris Richards, Maxence Lacroix and Mark Gay, rumoured to have a possible move to Liverpool. That is the most likely destination if he was to leave Palace's window. But again, there's hope to Palace that he will see out his contract. Daniel Munoz and Tyreek Mitchell, the fullbacks, in Daniel Munoz, excellent season with Palace last time out. And Daishi Kamada and Adam Wharton are the midfield pairing with Ismail Assar, Ebere Eze and Jean-Philippe Mateta. Again, that is a deadly front 3 for Crystal Palace. As for Liverpool, Alisson in goal. And now there are certainly some real exciting newbies on the block at Anfield. So Jeremy Frimpong at right back with Milos Kerkez on the opposite side. There's 2 of the new fullback signings straight in for this Community Shield tie. Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahim Kanate are the usual suspects at the heart defence. Dominic Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones are in midfield with Cody Gakpo on the left. Mo Salah, fresh off signing his new contract for this season, off the right, and Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike, the 2 brand new attackers. Question is, will Alexander Isak join them by the end of the window? As for the Crystal Palace bench, it is Jefferson Lerma, Nathaniel Klein, Will Hughes, Romain Esse, Hudson Edward, Borna Sosa, new signing over the summer, Justin Devaney, again, they had a little bit of a breakout season for Crystal Palace without obviously playing loads of games, but certainly got a decent amount for a youngster, Rio Cardenas, and the goalkeeper Walter Benitez. As for Liverpool is Wataru Endo, Alexis McAllister, Federico Chiesa, Harvey Elliott linked with a move away, Georgi Mamardashvili. Again, this is his first season with the Reds, even though he did sign last season. Again, he was sent straight back on loan to Valencia. Andy Robertson, Trey Neone, Ben Doak and Rio Ngamona completes the bench for Liverpool again. Certainly a real exciting prospect is Rio Ngamona. Again, that should be very exciting to see him come on at some point today, you would imagine. So this is going to be a real interesting match. Of course, these 2 met on the final day of the Premier League season. They cancel each other out, but of course it is an emotional one today for Liverpool fans. Of course, Diogo Jota, tragic news over the summer that him and his brother sadly died in a car crash. And again, both sets are supported, and of course the players in their respects before kick-off. And extremely emotional news, not just Liverpool but the whole of the football world. In the end, Diogo Jota, very popular figure, top player. And again, thoughts are with the family and friends of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. So we are ready to get underway here at Wembley. Can Crystal Palace be victorious again here? Again, the best day of their lives against Manchester City. And this one certainly won't compare, but it would still be nice. In the season curtain raiser for English football, Crystal Palace get their first ever Community Shield. Arne Slot looking for a side to get on the front foot straight away. Everyone's so intrigued to see how Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike will do in the game on English shore against an English team. All ready for the Premier League season to kick off at Anfield on Friday against Bournemouth. Beautiful sunny conditions here at Wembley, just like it was Palace's 1-0 victory over Man City on that glorious day in Crystal Palace's history. So Ebere Eze gets us underway, and straight away a long ball from Wharton towards the right, taking on the chest of Kerkez. Van Dijk back to Kerkez, and that's really good closing down for Ismail Assar. Kerkez is tempted ball down the left block from Sarr. Throw for Liverpool about midway in their half. Kerkez takes, header from Richards, flip backwards and Szoboszlai. Kanate just beats Eze to the punch and pokes it out for a throw to Palace. About midway inside Liverpool half. for Daniel Munoz to take. Back into the feet of Richards on halfway. And now here's Lacroix. Lacroix goes safe back to Henderson. Henderson in his lime green kit drills out towards the right. Munoz, the feet in the air from Kirkes. Kirkes appealing that it came of Munoz last, but it will be a throw in Daniel Munoz's favour. Kirkes not too pleased about that, and I don't think people are overly pleased about Kirkes getting the number 6 as a fullback. Certainly is an odd number fullback to have, but it is modern football. Kamada volleys it forwards from Munoz's throw, back with Kamada in the centre circle, drills it really poor pass there from Daichi Kamada, well and behind Ishmael Sarr, and that's a throw for Liverpool on halfway on the right-hand side. And that'll be Frimpong to take it in the field to Florian Wirtz, dropping deep, again likes to get all over the pitch. Is Konate, Walker in the ball. Jones situated in between Konate and Van Dijk, plays across the face of Van Dijk to Kirkes, it just drops in field to receive that pass, and Jones back with Van Dijk, short for Jones. And now, again, Liverpool's playing across back. Crystal Palace, by the way, protest against UEFA today. Big banner titles away for Mafia with lots of flares as well. And that contingent of Palace fans, they're making their feelings known. Soboslai just over halfway, again, Liverpool playing a slow tempo in their brand new cream away strip. Again, partnered with Adidas this year. Once more now, Van Dijk, lovely ball drilled out towards the right-hand side, beautiful touch, and Salah. Now Mitchell just facing him up. Salah goes back here for Frimpong. Now Liverpool go further back in the Palace after Konate. Short foot Jones. Nice feet from Jones, who just tapped it into the centre circle to Van Dijk. Again, square foot Curtis Jones. Liverpool just the front halfway, and just over 2 minutes gone here at Wembley in the Community Shield. As they trying to close down Salah. Liverpool go back in their own half, and Salah's pass to Konate. Now it's all the way back with Alisson just in front of his area. Van Dijk right in the centre of Liverpool half. It's a long ball about 30 yards, trying to find Gakpo. Down left with a foot race of Munoz. Gakpo gets his body across him, losing his balance. Still trying to hold off Munoz. Gakpo now leaves it for Hugo Ekitike. He's popped out on the left-hand side. Gakpo infield to Soboslai, close to the area. Soboslai to Weston Turner with Wharton around him. Kirkes and field to Soboslai. Wharton just holding him up. Now Soboslai to Van Dijk, just in front of the centre circle. Now inside to Konate. Palace have everyone back. Liverpool in control possession. We're just about to reach the 3rd minute. We had the first chance in these very early stages. Jones again just moving slowly the ball. Kirkes to Jones. Liverpool inside left against short square pass from Jones to Kirkes. Now Liverpool back on halfway. Van Dijk. And now it's with Alisson. Again, dead centre of Liverpool territory. Now time for Konate on the ball. Stops it with his right foot. With the same foot gives it to Soboslai. Soboslai turns, looking forwards. Kirkes in a bit of space just behind halfway. They go square to Van Dijk. Now Van Dijk plays it into the Palace half. Wirtz on left-hand side. Inside to Kirkes. Kirkes nice dribbling. On his outside to Gakpo. Gakpo drifted in field. Still Cody Gakpo. Gakpo now turns onto his right foot. Into the feet of Wirtz. Inside left. Now rolled it to Ekitike. Left edge of the box. Flicks it to Wirtz. Liverpool still edge the area. Now Wirtz finds Ekitike. Ekitike shot to the bottom corner. And Hugo Ekitike introduce himself to the Liverpool fans on the Wembley stage. Oh, that was a lovely finish. Right-footed. What a talented young player he is. He wants to be that number 1 striker this season. He's going about it the right way. Lovely finish with the right foot of Hugo Ekitike. Rolled it beyond the left hand of Dean Henderson. Cool, composed from the young Frenchman. Gakpo turned, gave it to the feet of Wirtz. Ekitike just looked to be onside. Ekitike controlled, returned it back to Wirtz. Wirtz again to Ekitike on the line of the area. Shifted it onto his right foot and just rolled it into the bottom corner. Not a chance for Dean Henderson. And that is just a start. Not only slot wanted for a side, now it's just a start. The Hugo Ekitike wants to this season. He's sending a message to Alexander Isak, who is desperate to come to Liverpool. He wants to be that number 1 striker this season, even if that Isak transfer goes through. And Liverpool back in possession already after Palace restart. Alisson to Van Dijk. So 5 minutes gone. And Liverpool already had the lead. What a Palace got in response. Konate back for Alisson. Alisson just short into the feet of Jones. Plenty of time on the ball for Jones. Just in front of him is his midfield partner, Soboslai. Soboslai now, right footed across to Kirkes. He's en route. Now Kirkes over halfway, plays about 15 yards to Gakpo. Gakpo shifts it inside. Gakpo about 25 yards and goal. To Soboslai, back to Gakpo, just behind the D. Gakpo dribbles into the box, but Munoz across, turns away for Gakpo and pass out the area, looking for Mateta. Just going to reach the right foot Mateta though, that pass from Munoz, and Liverpool back on halfway with Konate. Squares it into the centre circle to Van Dijk. Right-footed, rolls it to Wirtz. First time the nice little touch of Soboslai. Liverpool inside left, heading towards the box. Gakpo now into the area. Gakpo onto his right foot, holds it up. Now exits the area, plays it behind to Kirkes. Kirkes swings it right into the centre. Head away from Gay, just in front of Ekitike. Flick from Sarr. Now Munoz looking to get down the right hand side. He's midway inside his half. It's over Kirkes, goes inside. Now onto the chest of Wharton, smash it forwards. Van Dijk intercepts in the centre circle with Kamada. Pokes it behind to Eze. And Palace now in the middle of their half. And in the middle of the back three with Lacroix. Liverpool 82% in possession in the first 6.5 minutes, where they have made that dominance count with a Hugo Ekitike goal. Really nice finish. Roll with his right foot into the bottom corner. Heading to the full stretch and still didn't stand a chance. Lacroix now takes the ball through the D. Moving it slowly, plays it just in behind Salah. Gay into the feet of Lacroix. Ekitike putting the pressure on. Lacroix just has to guide it away. Cleared from Frimpong, forced to Wharton, now in the centre circle with Sarr, gets it, his body across the face of Van Dijk, then Konate puts the tackle in. Now Konate just over halfway to Wirtz, who joins in on the right hand side. Salah inside to Wirtz, now rolls it forwards down to Frimpong. Frimpong looks to put the cross in, deflects to Ekitike into the box. Ekitike overhits that pass to Salah. But again, some nice flowing football for Liverpool. We're already getting a taster of what to expect from the champions this season. And Arne Slot really enjoying what he's seen so far, as he did for last season as well. Though didn't end the season too well, Liverpool. But again, they were champions, so you can certainly forgive them for that. And here's Gay, right foot, a nice line breaking past to Kamada, just behind halfway. Kamada looked like he was barged into by Jones, and the referee did see that. And that is a free kick to Crystal Palace, which Eze takes short, a few yards behind him. And now Palace again, playing it across the back. It is Richards, just over halfway. Slowly the ball now back towards the centre circle to Lacroix. Lacroix now, diagonal pass. Looks towards Mitchell. Mitchell loses his aerial duel against Frimpong, but finds Eze. Now Eze into the centre. Wharton about 30 yards out, tries to roll it through, deceptive and Soboslai. Now goes back to Wharton. Zipped out to the right to Munoz. Munoz, just over 30 yards to goal, plays it back right-footed into the centre circle, just in front of halfway with Lacroix. Square for Gay. Gay left-footed, rolls it about 6 yards forward to Sarr in field to Eze. And now Mateta dropped deep. Mateta first time pass, it deflects forwards and Mitchell lets it roll out for a Palace throw. That was better there from Palace, but I think it took a deflection. Is it going to be a Palace or Liverpool throw? It is going to be Palace throw, so my eyes didn't deceive me there. As it is left, again it's Mitchell's left this throw. So Chris Richards, I think fancies taking a long throw into the box. Again, so he's just talking to his teammates. Something at the moment is Chris Richards now all set to put a long throw right into the area. Again, Mateta, he certainly wants a piece of this when it comes in. If they can reach him, Richards now with the long throw. Headed for Konate. Is that going to bounce out for a corner? No, Frimpong gets to it. The ball didn't actually have much pace. It's a simple clearance to Frimpong. Only as far as Mitchell, midway inside Liverpool half. Mitchell has a nice pass down left for Kamada. Kamada into the box. Soboslai out muscle for Kamada. Kamada can get the crossing tackle from Frimpong, and it'll just be a corner. One or two appeals for a penalty, but I think Frimpong did get the ball there. Great strength for Kamada against Soboslai. Well, Frimpong put the tackle. In fact, actually, I think when Kamada's about to put the cross in, he actually kicked through Frimpong, but Frimpong stayed on his feet. They did call Frimpong's right foot last. So it is a corner for Crystal Palace in front of the Liverpool supporters on the left-hand side. Can Palace get an equaliser? 10 minutes gone here in the Community Shield, sunny Wembley Stadium, 1-0 to Liverpool. Eze's corner headed away for Konate, out the box. Wharton being chased down from Salah. Wharton on the stretch, pokes it away on his far. As Gakpo, here comes Liverpool on the counter. Gakpo, ball the outside of his right foot, but deflects off Kamada. Now Gay from the centre circle, out to the left to Eze. End-to-end stuff. Eze now drifting inside. He was fouled there for Konate. And Palace getting their way back into this game after a dominant Liverpool start. Eze drifted in field, and Konate clearly tripped him up. That's what Eze is so good at. Just drifting in field, forcing those fouls. And he really is a joy to watch. Linked the move to Arsenal a lot this summer. Crystal Palace for the season, they certainly need him, especially with European football on the rise. And just the question, what competition will it be? That will be decided tomorrow. So Eze just takes his boot off for a sec. Don't know if there's a problem or on his foot, or maybe a problem just with the boot. Again, Alisson just makes sure everyone's organised. So good position for Palace to get a dangerous ball into the box, and they level things here. So again, Eze, he's in full control of this free kick. It's in the inside left. So it's about just over 25 yards and goal. Eze to deliver. Then Van Dijk just making sure that everyone is well organised. Well, this free kick comes in. Will Eze maybe take it short? Well, actually, Mitchell just flicks it now to Eze. Eze goes to the shot, and it's deflected out for a corner kick. That was clever there. Eze looked like he was about to take it. Then Mitchell quickly stepped in. Little deft flick for Eze to set him up for a shot. And the shot took a deflection of Frimpong, then Szoboszlai. And that will be another corner kick for Eze to take from the left-hand side. So, not a bad response from Crystal Palace. So Eze to swing it in from the left. Eze's delivery towards near post, head away for Ekitike. Volley low down from Wharton, not with a lot of power. Easily cleared from Gakpo. Headed back into the box, and Daichi Kamada deflects off Mateta and cleared away from Liverpool once more through Kirkes. In the centre circle, Mitchell heads. Wharton hooks on, and offside flag goes up against Crystal Palace. I have to mention as well, 4 inverts. Linked up Ekitike twice in the build-up for that open Liverpool goal inside the first 4 minutes, but just the roll finish for Ekitike. So delicate. Again, all that speculation over Alexander Isak taking over the summer. Will this move to Liverpool happen or not? Again, Ekitike, again, who was actually, funny enough, the Newcastle bid for him, and that was a saga in itself. Burtz flicks backwards. Wharton gets his helmet. Now Kirkes heads onto the chest of Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai turns to smash it towards the right side. Head away from Mitchell. Headed back to Palace Alpha Konate. Now Wharton just behind halfway. Gets it under control. Pokes it out to Kamada. First time back for Gay. Gay force control from Frimpong. Frimpong out to Ekitike. Lovely flick from the centre circle. Now Burtz to Salah. Forwards. Now Wharton. Nice forwards. Now Wharton. Nice pass to pick outside. Now Kamada rolls it through from Mateta. Chance for Mateta. Tries to go past Alisson. Brilliant work from Alisson to stop it with his right foot. Mitchell now. Chance for Sarr just inside the area. Sarr was out of foul there for Van Dijk. And the referee's pointed to the spot. Penalty to Crystal Palace. Van Dijk saying Sarr died. But with the naked eye looked a clear foul. Mateta should have really finished the chance off himself. Tried to round Alisson, but Alisson stopped the ball with his right foot. It fell out to Mitchell, drilled it back into the box. Sarr controlled, gone across the face of Van Dijk. And Van Dijk did seem to stick his left foot in there, tripped up Sarr. That looks a penalty. You could say it's soft, but there was contact inside the box. So Crystal Palace now with a chance to level up here. Again, really tricky play from Sarr. And the referee, again, still waiting for the final decision. No wonder we looked inside the box. That door looked a foul, so I think there should be a penalty. We are still waiting. It was Kamada rolled it through. Well, Mateta, he looked to be onside in the build-up, so that surely is a penalty. Yes, nothing wrong with it. So it is a Crystal Palace penalty. And here's Jean-Philippe Mateta. But he couldn't score the 1-1. But he has a chance to score from the spot. Alisson just touching the bar, trying to put off Mateta. Yeah, big chance here for Palace to level up. Mateta's penalty into Alisson's bottom left corner. Sends him the wrong way. And Palace's pressure over the last few minutes pays off. And the Eagles are level. And Jean-Philippe Mateta off the mark for this season. Composed penalty there from Mateta. Van Dijk still furious. And Liverpool's recent failure to keep clean sheets still carries on. But composed penalty from Mateta inside of the right foot. Alisson sent the wrong way. Little hop-skip jump as well from Mateta. That was an excellent penalty. And what a revelation he has been under the guidance of Oliver Glasner. Little fist pump for Oliver Glasner. Certainly enjoyed that. Once a Palace right back in this game. Really good first 17 minutes here in the Community Shield. It's now Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 1. And the Palace fans, certainly that end is bouncing now. So Szoboszlai to get us back on the way. Now Van Dijk sets himself for a long diagonal ball towards Ekitike. Headed down for Gay. Nice touch from Eze, midway inside his half. Holding off Frimpong. Eze now defeated by Wirtz. Now Szoboszlai pokes it down the right for Salah. Salah lifts it into the centre. Now Wirtz, about 23 yards and goal. Square for Kirkes. Central position. Kirkes shot blocked from Richards. Well, certainly felt that one, Richards. Right in the midriff there. Getting so much power on that shot there from Milos Kirkes. And it is a throw for Liverpool. Again, the Palace fans, terrific support from them. They love coming to Wembley. A recent record, and Liverpool now take the throw. Here's Jones. Again, taking a couple of touches now. Wirtz. Quick pass down the inside left. Ekitike holds up now, loses it. Munoz links up with Sarr. Here come Palace, motoring down the right. Munoz over halfway. Mateta making movement for the middle. Eze out on the left-hand side. Munoz clips it towards the back post. Nowhere near finding Mateta. Really poor service there from the Colombian. And a waste there for Daniel Munoz. And back now with Alisson. Again, the link-up team, Sarr, Munoz, so exciting to watch, but just didn't have that final ball. Jones out to Konate, Liverpool. Just over 10 yards behind halfway. And Konate leisurely moving forward to the ball. Gives it to Van Dijk. Van Dijk in the centre circle. Tapped it to Szoboszlai. Little touch to Jones. Now Szoboszlai gives it away to Sarr. Sarr tries to take around Szoboszlai. Now Szoboszlai tried to tackle. Now Sarr links up Mateta. Sarr heading towards the box. Slows it down. Sarr looking to his right. Rolls it in front of Munoz to run onto. Munoz level the penalty area now on the byline. Munoz swings it in towards the back post. Shot for Mitchell. It's wide. Lovely service there. Full-back to full-back. But Mitchell just didn't have the composure with that finish. Palace on top now here at Wembley. Their tails are up off that leveller. Munoz, I think, was intending to look for Mateta. It was too high for him. And Mitchell came at the back post, but put the shot on in step of his left foot. But yeah, got it all wrong in the end. But again, it's a really good play from Palace there. Certainly pressing Liverpool well now. Liverpool start the goal kick off through Van Dijk to Alisson. Long from Konate. Volleyed away from Lacroix. Back into Liverpool half. Frimpong controls, flicks up in the air now. Heads it Frimpong, heads it again. It's Jeremy Frimpong, bounce back towards him. Kamada now, lifts it down the left. Eze, heavy touch from him. Now Szoboszlai finds Kirkes in space in the middle. Kirkes now inverted, now heads back out to the left over halfway. Kirkes turns onto his left foot. And still just in front of halfway is Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai floats out towards the right. Liverpool in the attacking third. Frimpong kills the ball stone dead. Up against Mitchell. Frimpong. Nice burst of pace. Frimpong's delivering towards the back post. Sells up Henderson. It's in. Oh, what a finish for Jeremy Frimpong. And it's another debutant who scores for Liverpool. Dean Henderson unhappy with himself. But he just got to credit the finish from Frimpong. I have to say, though, I think that was intended as a cross. But he won't care one bit. Liverpool retake the lead. And it's a first Liverpool goal for Jeremy Frimpong. But the burst of pace to get around Mitchell was brilliant. But also got to credit the ball from Dominic Szoboszlai just in front of halfway. Pinged it out. 30 yards to the right-hand side. Frimpong burst the pace, get away from Mitchell into the box. And just floated it too high for Dean Henderson to do anything. Henderson just got caught under the ball. looking at it, I think that was definitely a cross, without a doubt. There was no one there in the centre. But a bit of fortune there for Frimpong. But still, that was a piece of quality, even if he didn't mean it. The perfect weight and height for the ball to spin over Dean Henderson. And Liverpool are back in front here at the home of English football. Eze gets us back on the way. Him and Wharton link up. Wharton now for the centre circle to Richards. What a start it's been. 22 minutes played. And Liverpool lead by 2-1. Can Palace respond once more? Yeah, back to Henderson. Here is Richards. Now, time for Maxence Lacroix. Lacroix stops the ball with his right foot. A couple of touches with that right. Square for Gay. Gay now. On the pressure from Salah. Gay. Left foot ball whipped down for Mateta. Chase Mateta. Beaten to it by Konate. And good defending there from Ibrahima Konate. Now Konate looking to stride forward. Just halts his pace. Is it just behind it to Jones now? Rolls it back in the Liverpool area to Alisson. Van Dijk. Van Dijk now strokes it into the feet of Curtis Jones. Jones placed it in step his right to Kirkes. Now time for Virtus to drop in field and plays it to Szoboszlai. Just over halfway, Szoboszlai under pressure by 3 pass players, but manages to play it between them to Gakpo. Liverpool down the left. Inside with Cody Gakpo, good tackle from Munoz, now rolls to Wharton. Wharton to Mateta, holds up Wharton, now Mateta on the spin to Eze. Eze cuts aside, needs help here, and Liverpool get 3 men back. And Eze has the ball nicked away from him due to the recovery plays of Jeremy Frimpong. Alisson smash it forwards, Gay the header from the centre circle. Now square header from Mateta. Kavanagh gets to it before Frimpong, plays it back to Gay, just behind halfway, square for Wharton. Wharton now left-footed. Just behind him to Lacroix. Lacroix line breaking pass, but now Van Dijk intercepts and Liverpool can get forward here with 4 inverts inside right. Now goes on his outside to Salah. It's been quiet today, Salah. Again, you just rely on him to produce something out the blue. Salah goes back to Frimpong, holds it up under pressure from Mitchell. Mitchell puts the tackle in, wins it back for Palace. Mitchell holding off Frimpong, little swipe there. Frimpong took a Mitchell, and it will be a free kick to Crystal Palace again. It was just a little kick there for Frimpong, the back of Mitchell's ankle. Again, great aggressive play there from the pair, and that was a fantastic battle between Mitchell and Frimpong. And Palace, again, they've equalised once today. They have to do it again. And with the threats they have, and Liverpool not being overly stable in defence, lots of calls actually Liverpool to spend the money on a centre-back instead of maybe being obsessed with getting that exact transfer done, especially with Ekitike, the quality he has. Edinburgh's shown that today. A little bit of a drinks break for both sides. That's feel really good around here at Wembley. It's been a lively first 24.5 minutes in the Community Shield. Again, the big question for Crystal Palace is, can they deal with that European football factor? They've never had it as a club. I'm sure they'll enjoy the journey. And Oliver Glasner, more than experienced, especially in the Europa League, has won it in 2022, and Frankfurt beat Rangers on penalties. And will Liverpool be facing Rangers in the Champions League next season? Well, that remains to be seen. And Rangers need to get through even more qualifying games for that possibility to happen. And they did actually meet in the 2022-23 Champions League campaign, where Liverpool actually demolished them 7-1. And Crystal Palace just waiting to get things back underway here at Wembley after the drinks break. Again, they have those threats, Palace. Certainly down that right hand side, Daniel Munoz, him and Sarr, the absolute electric. So now back on the way, and Gay sprays it out towards the right hand side. And now it's a lovely touch from Munoz in the attacking third. Munoz, Gakpo doing well to hold him up. Munoz inside to Wharton. Wharton lifts it towards the back post, too far away from Mateta. And that's a simple catch there for Alisson. Wharton, he has that technical quality to put in those killer passes and keep the play ticking, but just couldn't quite find Jean-Philippe Mateta there. Well, Konate may have taken a whack on the face. Just feeling a bit of pain there, Konate, and hopefully he'll be fine. It looked to maybe be a raised arm there for Mateta. That's what Konate is signalling, though. Not aggressively. So not saying aggressive manner, Konate. There was him, Mateta, just honestly trying to fight for all, nothing malicious from the Mateta on Konate. Konate just having his eye treated, though. Again, a little bit of a sore one for him to take. And Will Hughes set to be coming on shortly for Crystal Palace. Not entirely sure if it's a tactical sub or not. Daichi Kamada is actually sitting down for Crystal Palace, so no, I think this is an issue with Kamada. That's a real blow for Crystal Palace again with the European campaign coming up. Again, the Premier League kicking off next week. Palace starting off at Stamford Bridge a week today. That was an extremely tough opener for them. So Kamada being looked at now by the Palace physios. Well, Will Hughes all set to come on. Again, Maxence Lacroix just in compensation. Again, Arnie Slot will be extremely pleased it's on the attacking play from his side so far. Just the defensive side want to get sorted out again, but again with Virgil van Dijk, you know, he wasn't want to get the penalty. With him in defence, you always feel like a standard chance of having a solid season at the back. And Clinton Morrison just chatting with Steve Parish in the direct sports. Clinton Morrison, real cult hero. Like Chris Palace, Steve Parish will be, again, obviously he's presently here and trying to focus on the game, but he will be thinking about that hearing tomorrow. He'd love his side to be playing Europa League football next season. So Kamada now exits the field, and not a bad substitution in Will Hughes to bring on. And it's ready to get back and away again shortly. Alisson now. And just, I think we're looking to go long from this. Picks the ball up, and again Liverpool just pushing a bit higher up before Alisson will launch his forwards. Alisson now whacks it on the bounce with his right foot. Head away from Richards. Ekitike controls on his chest. Nice flick up in the Eververts. Returns it back to Ekitike. Heavy touch with his right foot though. And it's clear away from Lacroix, and then offside against Mateta. And it was lifted up towards him, Mateta. Just over halfway. Did win a flick on, but yeah, flag immediately up against him. And Liverpool just looking to manage things and calm things down ahead of half-time. They get that third. That'll be a big moment in this game. And Dijk gives it to Kirkes from the short free kick. Soberslide just going halfway still. Soberslide now through a gap of Sarr and Wharton. Ekitike back to Jones. Soberslide right and halfway. Soberslide places it over the top of the Palace defence. Down left for Gakpo. Holds it up now. Edge of the box. Gakpo goes back on the inside left to Soberslide. Just over 25 yards and goal. Drills it towards the back post. Frimpong now. Lays it behind into Vert. Vert just gets away from him. Cleared from Eze. Flick from Sarr, only as far as Kirkes. Kirkes to Soberslide. Back inside to Kirkes. First time. And that takes the deflection off Adam Wharton. Now for Liverpool throw on the left. About 25 yards and goal. Throws it back to Van Dijk. Soberslide. Van Dijk on the ball again, just behind halfway. Van Dijk places it into the centre circle for Jones to control. Jones now just exchanging a couple of passes with Vert. And the player likes to get across all around the field. And now Konate to Frimpong, back to Konate. Liverpool just controlling the possession here. Not overly dangerous areas, but they won't mind just taking the sting out of things here with that 2-1 lead. It is Dominic Soberslide, the Hungarian. Gives it back to Van Dijk. And Van Dijk just taking a couple of steps forwards. And pokes it with his right foot to Vert. Van Dijk again, left-footed. Vert's now through the gap of Mateta and Sarr to Kirkes. Milos Kirkes looks to go direct now down the channel. On the left, Ekitike to chase, but Maxence Lacroix holds him off, comes off the corner flag. Then that will be a throw for Crystal Palace, but Ekitike looking to really battle hard there with Maxence Lacroix. Again, Ekitike Doing really well so far. Again, the two Frenchmen up against each other there. And Munoz clears away from the Palace throw. Liverpool saying that should be their throw. It was indeed. Palace thought it took a deflection. It's Liverpool's throw. Milos Kerkez to take over halfway in Palace territory. Kerkez, Ekitike and Wirtz making movement close by. Kerkez throws it to Gakpo. Gakpo thought he's fouled, but Munoz won the ball, according to the officials. And now Eze looks the ball over the top, down the right foot. Sarr headed down away from Szoboszlai. Munoz controls. Munoz, nice little pirouette, but couldn't keep the ball in play though. Lost his balance under pressure, Milos Kerkez. And that is a throw for Liverpool. Kerkez throws it back for Jones. Now Jones to Konate. Konate back for Jones. Now Wirtz moves into a bit of space. First down pass back to Jones. Jones turns onto his left foot. Now Van Dijk. First time in his right foot. Here's Kerkez, 4 yards behind halfway. Again behind him to Van Dijk. Now Konate. In front of him to Frimpong. Frimpong now rolls it just over halfway to Salah. Looks to play inside to return it to Frimpong, but Hughes is there to cut it out. His first touch since coming on. Will Daichi Kamada. So Liverpool take their throw by 6 yards into the Palace half now. Frimpong, Szoboszlai link up. Frimpong manages to get toned onto it. Ekitike being took by Laquado. And now Mitchell to Eze. Back for Mitchell now, whips it down the left-hand side. Sarr making the run, Mateta now making that run into the box. Sarr just behind the area, could Sarr let fly? Sarr, can he go for a shot? Doesn't, goes to pass and can't find Munoz. It's intercepted for Gakpo, carries out the box. Now Wirtz, first time asking, down the left for Ekitike. Ekitike cuts inside. Hugo Ekitike, that's a really nice turn for Gakpo. Now rolls it to his right to Salah. Just gets away for Salah, but Salah keeps in play. Nears the corner flag, Salah. Behind him down the right-hand side, and Palace have men back now, but Liverpool still on the front foot. Jones, inside right, close to the box. Salah, back to Jones, on this right-hand side. Under pressure, Gay nicks it off him. Now Gay, infield to Hughes to clear away from the area now. Time on the ball for Konate to give it to Van Dijk. Kerkez asking for it. By the centre circle, but Van Dijk goes to his right instead to Konate. Here's Van Dijk once more. Van Dijk now sprays out towards the left-hand side. Gakpo controls really well with his right foot, but cleared away from Munoz. Gakpo just couldn't quite have full control of that ball and just gave the chance for Daniel Munoz to clear the ball away. Kerkez now coming towards the ball, ready to take the throw. In Liverpool, managing the game really well at the moment. And Kerkez just getting the ball quick clean before he can take the throw. For Liverpool from the left-hand side, level with the area. And Oliver Glasser just taking a quick swig of water. Kerkez now sets himself, and I think this one will be a long throw into the box. It is indeed from Kerkez towards the near post. Flicked off of Van Dijk, volleyed away though from Tyreek Mitchell. Header from Frimpong, bouncing towards Salah. Hooks it on. Header from Hughes, and now Mitchell midway inside his half. Mitchell looks the ball over the top with his left foot, but well blocked there from Wirtz in front of him. And that deflects off Florian Wirtz for a Palace throw. Midway inside their half on left-hand side. Just under 10 minutes of time left in this first half, where it's Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2 in the Community Shield. Nice touch there from Eze from the throw. Now Eze makes the switch out towards the right. Munoz runs into space, level with the penalty, and Munoz time now to get a cross in. Munoz does do that and falls towards Mitchell, and over the bar there from Will Hughes. And that was a really nice cross into the box there for Daniel Munoz. Hughes came steaming onto it, but couldn't keep his shot down. Yeah, Munoz delivered. Liverpool failed to clear. And yeah, Will Hughes leaning back too far, but it fell to him on the bounce. Smashed it over with his left foot. Yeah, a little bit of a warning sign there for Liverpool. Minute short from the goal kick now. Kirkes to Soboslai. Soboslai. Nice movement to get over halfway. Don't want Soboslai being chased out for Munoz. Good tackle there for Munoz in the middle of Palace. Munoz has gone down. Now Wharton tries to find a teammate, but nowhere near finding Sarr or Mateta. And Alisson just outside his box takes control of the ball. Just pokes it to Kirkes. Here is Van Dijk just strolling around it. Again, just taking a few slow steps forward. Now to his left to Kirkes again. Liverpool 6 yards behind halfway. Still no one halfway with Jones. Jones drags it back with his right. Plays it behind to Van Dijk. Now good pressure from Sarr. Mateta as well. Liverpool still having the ball. They have to go back now with Van Dijk to Alisson. Alisson clears well out of his area towards the inside right where Gay beats Salah in the air. Nice touch there from Hughes by the centre circle. And now Richards lifts it with his right foot. Well controlled on the chest of Mitchell. Mitchell now into Liverpool half turns and goes back with his left foot to Gay. Here's Lacroix just behind the centre circle. Lacroix plays that diagonally short to Richards, who enters the Liverpool territory. Now Wharton looks to try and ping it towards Mitchell, and he almost found Mitchell there. Now back with Alisson, good idea from Adam Wharton. Again, he's tasked with playing those creative passes for the centre, trying to patch out the Liverpool back line and try and undo them. Van Dijk to Jones. Now Jones, thought for Frimpong. Liverpool go backwards. Frimpong to Konate. Konate stops the ball with his right foot on top of it. A little touch there and a few more little touches with his right foot. Looks to slowly come forward there. Konate now to Van Dijk, right in the centre of his half. Now Kirkes direct, looking to get over the top of Munoz. He does do that, finds Gakpo, but Gakpo was offside. Good line there by Palace. And the idea was good from Milos Kirkes, but in the end that didn't like it. They've run that run for Cody Gakpo that was timed far too early. Palace now with a free kick, short for Hughes, and Hughes wins the throw down left, hits it off the right knee of Florian Wirtz. Again, Crystal Palace haven't really got any momentum going after that level of after that second goal from Liverpool, and Palace now do get themselves a free kick on the throw, and little push there on Jean-Philippe Mateta. There's a free kick now, roll backwards to Mark Gay. Here is Richards on the ball. Palace just behind the centre circle in their half. Now Lacroix to Gay. Here is Henderson. Lacroix asking for it short. Henderson plays out of his box to Gay. Now again back to Henderson in the 6 yard area. Henderson then just clipped it to Richards, too far away from Richards, and really poor distribution there for Henderson. Simple pass to make there to Richards, and failed to do so. Dean Henderson. Liverpool have real control of this game now. And here's throw for Liverpool to take with 5 minutes of this first half left. Crystal Palace trail Liverpool by 2-1. And Kirkes just taking a bit of time to take the throw now, eventually does do so and gives it to his fellow countryman Dominic Soboslai. Now it's Alisson, one touch to take out of his area. 4 yards in front of him to Van Dijk. Van Dijk again slowly come forward with it. Now Van Dijk to Gakpo. Two Dutchmen linking up now. Back with Van Dijk. Jones in between the two centre-backs again. Van Dijk, Liverpool. Now play it just over halfway. Van Dijk to Kirkes. Knocks it to Soboslai. Soboslai on halfway on the left. And now Wirtz, first time to Ekitike. Now leaves it for Kirkes. Heavy touchdown for Milos Kirkes. Chase the ball down the byline. But in the end, Maxence Lacroix just about did enough to shepherd the ball out for a goal kick to Palace, which goes long and comfortably headed away from Van Dijk. Now Wharton Scuffs it forwards, and that's a poor back pass there from Third, but Konate's across to make sure he beats Sarr to it. Now Konate clips it forwards for Ekitike to try and get to. Henderson comes out of his box and clears away. Flicked on from Hughes, now time in the centre circle for Wirtz on the bounce to give it to Frimpong. Teammates at Bayer Leverkusen. Our teammates at Liverpool, good tackle there from Hughes, but it rolls back in the centre circle for Konate. Kerkez is Van Dijk. Again, Liverpool back in the centre circle. Nice touch from Wirtz inside of Palace half 1-2 with Soboslai. Now Wirtz inside left. Wirtz about 25 yards in goal. Finds Ekitike. There's back towards goal, just behind the D. Ekitike into the box towards Wirtz. Cleared away though by Chris Richards, and it's with Alisson in the centre circle. 3 minutes left. And all time this first half. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2 here at Wembley. Now Wirtz between the gap of Sarr and Waterman. Soboslai can't find a teammate. Cut out from Lacroix. Mateta holding up now. Mateta fouled there for Konate. And the referee did have a good view of it. In fact, it's a yellow card to Ibrahim Konate as well. Yeah, Mateta just rolled him. Clear contact there. And that will be free kick for Crystal Palace. And not too long to go now in this first half, and there's a real lively start on both sides, but yeah, since that Frimpong goal, Liverpool just got a real foothold and control this game. Free kick for Palace, pretty much on halfway for Lacroix to drill towards Mitchell, and Alisson comes towards it and claims that one comfortably, and then rolls it to Jones. Here's Curtis Jones, and well, almost found Kerkez. Well, it will still go to Kerkez, but wanted it into his feet. Just a bit behind Kerkez, but no one around him, so just still a lot of time to control it. And now gives it to Van Dijk. Again with Kerkez. Kerkez goes backwards to Van Dijk. Teta just slowly creeping towards Van Dijk, and now Alisson drills it forwards and offside there against Mo Salah. Then Gay beats him in the air, but yeah, Salah just moving a little bit too quickly. And that will be free kick for Crystal Palace. Last minute at normal time in this first half now approaching. And Hughes leaves it for Gay to take the free kick. Now Gay gives it to Hughes, and Hughes now across to Richards. Nice take on his chest there. Richards on the pressure from Ekitike, gets it off him. Ekitike turns, and now Richards chasing back. Ekitike still fending him off, and then Richards manages just to stick a right foot in there to get the tackle in, but it rolls out for Liverpool throw. Gakpo goes it back for Kerkez. Here's Van Dijk. Again, Van Dijk with a switch. Nice looking ball towards Salah. And it's a nice flick away for Gay. Tussle with Salah. Now it's a good tackle there for Mitchell against Frimpong. Now Palace go long. Headed away though from Van Dijk. Searching ball towards Sarr. And then it is Curtis Jones. But in the Liverpool half, just in front of Jones. Pass it back to Konate as the ball stopped. And a couple of little touches with his right foot for playing it short for Jones. Florian Wirtz received a yellow card. Not actually too short. Exactly what it was for. Don't know if it's something he said to the referee. So now over the first 45 minutes, and it'll be 7 minutes right on time this first half. Had a few stoppages, of course, that penalty that Crystal Palace got as well. Actually, Kavanagh going down injured, so 7 minutes right on time at Wembley. Liverpool leading Crystal Palace by 2-1 in the Community Shield. Alisson finds Kerkez. Liverpool still pretty deep inside their half. Kerkez back with his left foot to Alisson. Alisson centre his box. Tries to find Gakpo, but well touched there from Munoz. Now behind to Richards. Richards turns away for Ekitike. And that will be free kick for Crystal Palace. And there was a little clip there from Ekitike. And the ankle of Chris Richards, yeah, just he just patched the back of his left leg. Now free kick from Palace. Finds Mitchell into the feet of Gay. Gay now, 25-yard pass. That's a brilliant one to find Munoz. Munoz, edge of the box now. Can he get the cross line? Munoz gets the delivery towards Sarr. Sarr couldn't reach it. Flung himself towards the ball. And it's a throw for Liverpool on the right-hand side. Brilliant ball from the back. Munoz is onside. One touch to get inside the box. Composed himself. And the cross was certainly inviting. Trying to find Sarr. Again, Sarr just flinged himself towards the ball. Couldn't reach it though. Oliver Glasner less than pleased with that. So 2 minutes of the 7 of first half stoppage time played. That was a good chance there for Crystal Palace. So throw now for Jeremy Frimpong to take. Liverpool just to make sure they go into half-time ahead. Frimpong's throw. Header from Gay now. Header forwards and Sarr. Can't find Mateta though. Jones back to Alisson. First time with his right foot. Kirkes. Always likes drifting in field to control the ball. Now inside his box. Kirkes to Alisson under the pressure and Sarr. But Alisson composed as ever. Plays it towards halfway. Headed forwards and Gay. Now Wharton wins the challenge against Van Dijk, but falls to Konate. Lifts it forwards. Header from Munoz. Now Mateta chased it down. But the offside flag goes up against Mateta. Scuffs it wide anyway. Again, Mateta just too early with this movement. But again, certainly that's something that he's improved on under Oliver Glasner. Yeah, Mateta was a yard or two off when Munoz headed forwards into his path. So Liverpool free kick to take. Van Dijk. Imagine he'll just go as long as possible. Andy Robertson now sitting on the Liverpool bench, and Kirkes likely to displace in the scene. Now head away for Palace from the free kick. TK can't trap it the way he wanted to. Lacroix gives the way to Jones. Liverpool on the right hand side. Attacking to Frimpong midway into the 7 minutes of stoppage time. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool with Van Dijk in the centre circle. Van Dijk, who's left to Kirkes. Now short forward pass to Wirtz. Wirtz trying to get away from Munoz. Good tackle there from Munoz. Stretches right foot. Won the challenge, but Liverpool do have the throw, which Wirtz takes backwards, and now it is Van Dijk. Short for Soberslide. Little touch from Wirtz, and now Soberslide back inside to Wirtz. Wirtz heading towards the penalty area. Now Wirtz inside it. Wirtz now goes the cross towards Soberslide, headed away. Only spars Wirtz. Wirtz clips it. Nice touch to Frimpong. Frimpong looked to get his second, but leaning back too far when he took the shot on the bounce with his right foot. Again, Florian Wirtz. Really nice weight on that pass. Controlled from Jeremy Frimpong. And then two have that real good understanding from their days at Leverkusen together. Yeah, Frimpong just leaning back a bit too far when he took that shot on. Not a lot of time for Palace to try and get a leveller going into half-time. Just over 2 minutes left of this first half. Head up into the air for Konate from the goal kick. Nice touch from Mitchell. Mitchell about 10 yards in Liverpool half. Now Hughes, the short pass to Sarr. Wharton now whips it towards Munoz, but too far front. Munoz, Alisson almost dropped it. And managed to get it the second attempt. Now an overarm throw to Gakpo. Gakpo over halfway. Gakpo slows everything down. Palace get everyone back. Now it's Kirkes to Van Dijk, just by the centre circle. Taps it to Jones. Now Jones rolls it to Frimpong. Plays it on to Salah. Now Salah forwards to Frimpong. Salah making that run inside. Frimpong going to get a cross in. Trying to turn away from Gay, who engages him. And Frimpong back here for Jones. Soberslide pokes it forward Jones. Now Jones again, a little flick to Soberslide. Here's Konate in the centre circle with Van Dijk. Just inside his half, and now Konate just taps it to Jones. Liverpool now just have 1 more minute of stoppage time left in this first half, just to make sure they're going at half time in front. Fully in control, possession on halfway with Jones on the left. on his outside to Kirkes. 1-2 team Verts and Kirkes, here come Liverpool down the left now. Kirkes to Gakpo, edge of the box. Verts just by the D. Verts, little pass to Ekitike, still Liverpool edge of the box. Now Verts surrounded by Palace players and he's dispossessed. Sata Mateta holds it up middle of the Palace half. And now Mateta to his left to Eze. Eze almost had the ball stuck on his foot. Still manages to get it under control now. Palace missed that chance to possibly attack. Still have the ball. They're in the half of Richards. Now it's Lacroix. Now Gay again takes a couple of steps forwards now. Looks a long ball towards Sarr. Head away from Van Dijk. Will it find Munoz? Munoz flicks it over the stretching Kirkes. Now Munoz gets delivery towards the back post. Flicked away for Kanate. Here's Eze. Has it down here for Mitchell. And now Gay on the ball. So one last chance for Palace. Gay for Will Hughes. Hughes turns. Hughes now out to Munoz. Munoz gets the cross in towards the back post and too high for Mitchell. And that will go out of play for a throw. There won't even be any time for the throw to be taken. 7 minutes of stoppage time. Finally up in the first half and Liverpool lead by 2-1. Going into break, Hugo Ekitike opened his Liverpool count, sending a message about how he wants to be that main striker this season. Yeah, it was a lovely finish. Rolled into the bottom corner. With Florian Wirtz's pass. That'll be the first of many assists of Wirtz. Ekitike linked up so well in the build-up. Palace responded well. And they got an equaliser for a penalty through Mateta on the 17th minute. Yeah, it was a foul from Van Dijk. From Sarr. Tricky feet. Van Dijk just committed. Stuck his left foot in. It was a penalty. Converted from Mateta, but Jeremy Frimpong put Liverpool back in front. 4 minutes later, he didn't mean this goal. Clipped across him, but it was too high for Salah, but also too high for Dean Henderson. Sailed over his head and into his bottom right-hand corner in the end. Liverpool managed to rest the first half really well, and they lead by 2-1 at the break in the Community Shield.
Definitely still have moments of it for sure. Like I can't be late. I have such a thing about being late, except for so much. And definitely like things in order, and I like them to be in their place, and that's all very, very true. So maybe kind of a bit wrong. Maybe. When's your birthday? October, so maybe. Okay. October.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.
With a great performance and really like what he's doing. Much as well as just joined Manchester City and he's doing great even if they're going through difficult times. So we have enough times. We need just to work around the thing. Discipline is very important in our team. It's a big part of being professional, having the right mindset, setting goals and working on your goals, having new goals, and
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.
Well dedicated, having the right mindset to succeed. This is what we're trying to do.
What was your motivation then? Because I found it really interesting. So the talent is here in Egypt, and you know how many issues that Egypt is learning and not just sometimes not enough Egyptian players that are constantly doing that know that I guess to get more what is an Egyptian players working.
Yes, exactly. If you compare the number of Egyptian players who play in Europe to any of other top African countries in football, the gap is massive. You talk about Senegal and Ghana and Congo, Mali, Nigeria.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.
Is not enough for Egypt. We are a country with 120 million people, and we are physically strong. We have a great history. So these kind of projects, and the NATO, especially the NATO, our main target is to get into Europe at least 4 or 5 players. And the agreement that we are intending is we have 60, 70 players graduated and part of this training program playing around Europe, and we will be following them, we will be monitoring them, we will have people around them to keep working and developing them, even if they are playing in Europe.
That was New Day will be back at Wembley shortly. Stay with us on the website.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Held a high-level security review meeting.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page.
That he could be joining Liverpool before the end of the transfer window. They've already had a really good reflective for him. We spoke earlier on Sports World to James Pierce, the Liverpool reporter for The Athletic.
Obviously, we know that Liverpool had that initial bid of £110 million rejected by Newcastle. We know that Isak is absolutely desperate to complete that move to Anfield. Of course, he's still not back training with the Newcastle squad. There's a standoff there that Eddie Howe has been talking about in the last 24, 48 hours. And of course, Newcastle have got a huge decision on their hands. So do they keep an unhappy player and deal with the consequences of that, or do they come to some kind of compromise with Liverpool over the fee? Newcastle.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and
Liverpool
TikTok.
Clearly wouldn't want to go as high as that. So I think it's too difficult to call at the minute which way that's going to go. I think it says a lot that Liverpool haven't moved on from Isak. Of course, they've sanctioned the sale of Darwin Núñez to Al Hilal in the Saudi Pro League. They desperately need to bring in another attacker, but they're not moving on to other targets yet because the hope remains that they can still get Isak over the line.
Striker there, actually, he got the TK and scored today, so that will take the pressure off them. Elsewhere, Bournemouth close to completing the signing of the French centre-back, the Fodi Diakite from Lille for about $47 million. And in cricket, Australia have beaten South Africa by 17 runs in their first T20 international in Darwin. Tim David top scored for Australia with 83 as they made 178. Josh Hazelwood then took 3 wickets as South Africa could only make 161 for 9 in reply.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more
this time
in-depth
next week,
info
the Premier League
on the match
season will
page.
be underway, and here on Sunday Sports World we'll have coverage of a massive game, Manchester United against Arsenal. Our build-up will start at 14 GMT. Throughout the season, we want to hear from you as part of our Premier League fans panel.
remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.
Hello and welcome back here to a sunny Wembley Stadium. Liverpool leading the Community Shield by 2-1. Hugo Ekitike opened the scoring with a lovely turn to get his first Liverpool goal. And Florian Wirtz with the assist. You think that'll be the first assist of many. But Palace responded well, and at 17th minute they scored from the spot through Jean-Philippe Mateta after Salah's foul from Van Dijk. And Liverpool, through a bit of luck, Jeremy Frimpong clipped in a cross, sailed over there to Dean Henderson into the back of net. Now Liverpool get us back on the way for the second half, shooting from right to left. And Van Dijk pings it straight away towards Ekitike, header from Gay. Now head up in the air from Eze on the left-hand side. Eze trying to hold off Wirtz. Now Hughes gets a little touch to Eze. Eze gets around Frimpong, still just behind halfway. Wirtz with the tackle. And now Kanate to Soboslai. Liverpool in the centre circle with Kirkes. Bends it across the face of Munoz. Out here to Gakpo. Gakpo now. Into the box, Gakpo onto his right foot. Still got him back. Gakpo shot blocked from Hughes. Falls back to Gakpo. Needs a bit of support. Now Kirkes puts the cross in. Ekitike header wide. Oh, it's a big chance for Liverpool to get a 2-goal cushion at the start of the second half. And Hugo Ekitike, he should have scored that. Lovely ball in for Kirkes. Ekitike, I think he was offside though, so that wouldn't have counted, but still, lovely ball in from Milos Kirkes, and Ekitike certainly put himself about today. And Gay now starts off the goal kick. Henderson with a black cap on this second half, up towards Mateta in the centre circle. Faithful Gonçalves trying to chase it down, but Van Dijk is there. And now it's back with Alisson. Alisson pings it up towards Salah. Salah, ball just gets away from him. Ball being chased down here from Gay. Gets there for Salah. Plays it back to Dean Henderson. Henderson, short pass to Richards. Now Richards, right foot to ball. It's a nice one to find. Hughes flicks up in the air in the centre circle. Now on the stretch, can't give it to Salah through the middle. And Kirkes, well, in fact, it's a free kick to Crystal Palace. There was a little follow through on Will Hughes when he made the pass. So free kick to the Eagles, and again they showed their character in the first half to respond from that early setback. And can they show it again? Second half, free kick taken short. Nice turn from Ward on the right hand side. Can't pick out Sardo. Well read from Kirkes. Now Wirtz plants it over halfway towards the right hand side. Salah now has the run of Frimpong, and Phil gives it to Frimpong, edge of the box. He's hold off Mitchell. Frimpong back to Salah. Palace get men back. Now Liverpool just slowing it down. Curtis Jones. Little short pass from Wirtz towards him. Jones inside right. Just over 35 yards to go now. Liverpool need attacking third. Wirtz and Salah combined. Salah on the byline. Keeps in play. Mitchell though clears it behind for a corner kick after Salah just had a bit of a heavy touch with his left boot. That just gave Tyreek Mitchell the chance to get in there and clear it away for a corner kick on the right hand side for Liverpool. It's been a lively start though to this second half. Both sides setting out their stall from the off. Liverpool looking to get that 2-goal cushion here. And they have a corner on the right-hand side for Florian Wirtz to take. All ready to take it now. Right arm raised. Wirtz puts it into the box, flicked away from Richards. Now headed further on from Hughes, held up from Eze. Eze now trying to find the run of Munoz. And the referee doesn't want to know that. Yeah, Munoz, he just told to get back up. And there was Munoz thought there was a little clip on him. As Palace were trying to get away. On the right hand side with Eze on about to lift it on. Actually, was there touch from Munoz, or I think the Munoz actually accidentally run into the referee. I think there was actually a bit of contact in Munoz and the referee Chris Kavanagh. I think that's why he lost his balance actually. So it was nothing to do with the opposition player or him just going down naturally. It was Munoz just running into the referee. Have a look at it. Yeah, it was just Munoz ran into the referee Chris Kavanagh. And Chris Kavanagh didn't have a clue Munoz was running right by his side. So Liverpool give him back to Dean Henderson, start things off. So it was a technically on paper referee error, making contact with the player. So yeah, Henderson can start off again now. And now Henderson to Richards, long ball down the right hand side. Too far away though from the path of Mateta, and it is back with Alisson. Now Alisson rolls it to Van Dijk. Jones in between Eze and Mateta asking for it. Instead it's with Alisson again. He's out of his area to Frimpong. Infield to Jones. Had a bit of pressure from Hughes pressing high. Gives it to Konate now. Here's Alisson, the 6-yard box. Alisson sweeps out to the left. Nice touch there from Kirkes. Kirkes finds Wirtz. Wirtz now turns away from Hughes. Hughes puts the tackle in, but there was a clear pull there from Hughes on Wirtz. And yeah, Florian Wirtz just so comfortable getting around the pitch. And there's a free kick here for Liverpool to take. It's left for Virgil van Dijk to take it, and Van Dijk just goes short for Kirkes. Now Szoboszlai. Jones back for Kirkes, inside to his fellow countryman Szoboszlai. Still Szoboszlai, just behind halfway, dinks it at 10 yards forwards to the left hand side to Gakpo. Gakpo finds the run of Ekitike, left side the penalty area, now exits the box. Ekitike to Gakpo. Here's a cross and Wirtz, a tame one though, easily headed away from Gate. Taken under a spell by Szoboszlai, now left for Van Dijk. Little touch from Kirkes. Liverpool inside left, midway in the Palace half now, flicked off from Ekitike. Gakpo holds it up, first time.
Before the match, he will be alongside Aaron for the latter part of 6:06. Palace coming forward. Here's Wharton. Wharton on his left foot, lifts it out towards the right-hand side. He has looked rusty. His range of passing looks as though it needs more in the pre-season. Adam Wharton,
slightly leggy. You asked me what I think the best Liverpool 11 is, John. I think there's a couple of changes in there.
Gakpo heads it back there. Ekitike into the D, then across to the right-hand side. Salah's ball across was blocked away by Gay. And Salah there, he had options in the middle, but couldn't find the pass past Gay.
Yeah, I thought he was going to use the defender and try and whip it like we've seen so many occasions into that far corner this time. Very unselfishly. for a teammate in the box. Crystal Palace managed to scramble it away.
I suppose the question, if it is to be this Liverpool lineup with Wirtz, Salah, Gakpo and Ekitike, who the two are?
Yeah, the two. That is the two. I mean, for me personally, it would be Gravenberch and McAllister. But I mean, there's not much fall off between Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones. They've got a really, really strong squad, and they're going to be fighting on a lot of fronts, Liverpool.
Yes, they are. As Szoboszlai is dispossessed by Sarr, and now Sarr running strongly, playing it through to Eza. Eza has two players either side. He goes down, and referee Kavanagh says no penalty. Quite decisive there, referee Kavanagh, probably maybe 15 yards away from that, and he was in between.
He was chasing play, wasn't it, Chris Kavanagh? I think he made the right decision. I would say that Eze, they didn't really get a touch of the ball. He was crowded out.
Yeah, he had Canate on one side and was it Frimpong on the other. And between them, Eze went down, and there wasn't a convincing appeal, as it were. He went down and had a look towards Chris Kavanagh, who was already crossing his palms over one another.
I mean, you mentioned Frimpong there. I would love to see the running distances of high intensity with the Liverpool fullbacks. They have been everywhere, up, down. They bring such an energy to this team. But with that energy also comes gaps at the back. So Virgil van Dijk, Canate need to be really on into those channels, and also very aware of those two sitting midfielders.
Liverpool leading 2-1. Wirtz has found Szoboszlai, who angles it back. Gakpo shot straight into Hughes, straight into the legs of Hughes, who was standing in front of him, and it bounces forward for Wharton, who brings it forward in that typical way of him. He is a glider, isn't he, Adam Wharton, when he runs forward with the ball? It's a very smooth process.
Starting to create more and more, Liverpool, aren't they? And when Crystal Palace get that counter-attack, they just don't seem to have the fitness to get up, do they? They don't quite seem to have the legs at the moment. Obviously, we know we're a week away from the start of the season, and we're so good at that last season. We've got accustomed to it. Don't seem to be bouncing with the same energy, let's say.
And there's groans from the Palace supporters because the ball was passed behind Munoz by Richard, so to throw in to Liverpool. So this, the Community Shield Glen, was first played for in 1908. Over the entire history, how many times do you think the league champions have won it outright, and how many times the FA Cup winners over the entire history?
Well, I mean, that takes a lot of maths, but I'm going to go that more FA Cup winners have won it, John.
No. As the ball bounces forward, Mateta into the penalty area. It's played back by Van Dijk, go to Alisson. Van Dijk managed to get himself, as he so often has done over his career, onto the right side of the attacker, snuffed out the danger. Then, no, there's a foul on Wharton. It's a free kick 10 yards inside the Liverpool half. Played square to Hughes, who was under pressure there, but he knew that was coming from Ekitike. Palace players are saying that was a foul. Referee's given them the advantage, but the Palace players have stopped. And Munoz had nowhere to go. Wharton curls it in right across the Liverpool backline. Mitchell over there in the full-back position. Plays it back now to Hughes. Palace are smart here. They're asking questions of Liverpool. And now the cross from Gay into the area. Flicked on by Mateta, right across the face of goal. And Sarr was throwing himself in there, couldn't get a touch, and it was all the way through for a goal kick.
Well, I just wonder if Mateta just gets a little nick on this and takes it away from Sarr, because Sarr is in the middle of the goal on the 6-yard box. All he's got to do is get some sort of contact on the ball and send it goals, and more than likely it will be a goal. And he does. He gets a slight little nick on it, Mateta, and he's got to reread it. Sarr can't quite quickly redirect his body and the ball. Skims off his forehead to safety. Crystal Palace come extremely close.
It was a near thing, as you say, Glenn. Initial flick by Mateta, but Sarr would have been offside. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2, just over half an hour of the Community Shield to go. What about the Super League latest from Matt Newsom?
Hull FC 74, Salford 0. Hull really taking advantage of the opportunity against the Salford side, patched together with low knees today. 100 or so Salford fans have made the trip. They've been directing their ire at the owners. Hull FC are looking at 5 points clear of those in the top 6.
Yeah, a bit of anger there, and I'm sure, as we heard from Tom Gale, there'll be anger at Leicester as well from the Sheffield Wednesday supporters after the desperate goings on there during the course of the summer. 2-1 to Liverpool here in the Community Shield. As as Richards turns and plays it back towards the edge of the area. If you listen on 5 Live tomorrow, you know the verdict is expected from the Court for Arbitration for Sport on Crystal Palace's efforts to get themselves back into the Europa League. So we will have that covered during the course of the day tomorrow, and there will be a Monday night club as well, a full-scale Monday night club with Mark Chapman, Chris Sutton and Rory Smith on 5 Live. Ball played forward to Matata, but Alisson's able to come out of the penalty area and kick it out of play for a throw-in. Munoz takes it, having a better spell here, Crystal Palace, Glenn Murray. Munoz with it on the right-hand side. Back to Sarr, puts his foot in it, curls it in, hits Kirkes, and that will bounce behind now for a corner at the Palace.
Yeah, definitely coming to life in this second half. Crystal Palace have weathered a bit of a Liverpool storm. A couple of chances from Ekitike, but starting to get a foothold in the game. Can they come level?
Palace supporters rise to their feet. Adam Wharton walks down there and picks up the ball, which is sitting on the surface, bounces it a couple of times and places it down in the quadrant. It's Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2. Palace have 3 players inside the Liverpool 6-yard box, another 3 near the penalty spot. Hughes and Eza stationed on the edge of the box. Wharton waiting to take this. He gives the signal, 2 arms up, deep one, headed across by Gay, but cleared away, stabbed away by Kanate, and then Eza hits a shot that might even have taken a double deflection, which took it well wide of the goal, but behind for another corner.
And once that ball arrived, the Gay didn't really have too much pace on it, and he was trying to generate that power. Falls nicely to Eze on the edge of the box, hits it on the half volley. Liverpool do just enough.
Speaking of the UEFA decision, I noticed that the ultras in their black shirts, and if you look behind the goal now, they've put up some sort of banner which has got the UEFA logo on it, and
I'm not sure it is the UEFA logo.
Well, it's a parody of the UEFA logo. Wharton with the latest Palace corner to the back, Richards with the header, but it's straight at Alisson, who's able to catch the ball in front of his stomach, actually, with those green gloves.
Yeah, gets it well there, Richards to the back post. Just going back to that banner, I think it might have in the middle of the UEFA logo is a Euro sign.
Yeah, well spotted. The ball played forward by Lacroix, but that will bounce forward towards Alisson. The attendance, 82,645, and a very healthy attendance for the Community Shield. Well, Liverpool supporters, and I know that so many of them, like all of the big clubs, come from all over, but even so, 3 o'clock kick-off, which I think helps a little bit on a Sunday afternoon, probably means people can get home on the trains. And of course the Palace supporters need no second opportunity to come and have another day out at Wembley Stadium.
And also you get more tickets rather than the FA Cup final, the EFL Cup final, so it's nice for the supporters to be able to come and almost be 50-50.
Yeah, people who couldn't come in May. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2. As Liverpool have lost possession in the centre field. Wharton, now to Eza, inside the box, left foot, into the legs of Alisson. From the angle, there was a defender there as well, Kanate, and Eza shot straight at the Liverpool goalkeeper, who was able to block it well.
Which actually, suppose Liver gives the ball away in the middle of the park, and Wharton's on it. We say he's not had the best game. I actually thought he might have went to his right-hand side, because he had 2 options. Sarr to his right, Eze to his left. He gives it to Eze. He fronts the defender up, and he asks a big question of Alisson Becker. 2 big saves in the last couple of minutes by the Liverpool goalkeeper.
Yeah, so the Palace chances now. Sarr with the header that was offside actually, but then the Richards header, the shot from Eza, and they're having a good spell there. They're putting pressure on Liverpool here, searching for the equaliser. Liverpool though in possession, and the Palace supporters trying to do their bit. 4 of the last 6 Community Shield matches have been decided on penalties. I think it does probably help it that it does go straight to penalties with no extra time. But right now, you wouldn't necessarily rule that out.
Well, I did read a stat, John, that only once in the last 15 years have a team completed the Community Shield and Premier League double, so maybe Liverpool don't want to win it.
Well, there is that. Manchester City won it last season, and look what happened next.
Well, it was actually Manchester City, the only team that done it in the last 15 years.
Frimpong to Burton. Burt's down the right hand side, cleared away from Gate. And now it's Cleared away there. Ball throw. And Crystal Palace fans, an excellent voice. And it's Chris Richards in possession here, and it's a short pass now to Munoz. At Henderson, first time from him. That's a long ball from Richards. Down the right-hand side. Header away from Virgil van Dijk there. So just over 63 minutes on the clock. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2. The Palace have certainly been putting the pressure on last few minutes, and Chris Richards, right side of defence in that back three, gives it to Lacroix. And Lacroix slowly coming forwards, and now here is Mark Gay. Back to Maxence Lacroix. Lacroix to Wharton now. Richards. Palace just over halfway. Munoz down the right hand side. Can't find Sarr. Cut out from Kirkes. Soberslide sets onto it. Van Dijk squared to Kirkes. First time from him. Touching Gakpo. Wharton trying to get it back. Wharton clears it off. Gakpo. Palace midway inside Liverpool half. On the right hand side, Wharton loses balance. Trying to get the ball in play. Manages to hit it off Soberslide. And that is a throw for Palace to take. Now Munoz into the feet of Richards. Here is Palace on the ball with Lacroix. Gay, now is Eze. Eze, just over halfway. Abere Eze, can he try and play this one through the middle? Eze, 35 yards and goal, but just goes to the simple pass to Wharton. It is ball in field from Munoz to Eze. Eze, wonderful ball in, but Alisson committed well and got there before it could go on to head of Mateta. Roll from Alisson. 2/3, still Wirtz, and Gay puts the challenge in. Wirtz appealing for a free kick, nothing given. Now for the centre circle, Wharton hits it too high. He was trying to set away Jean-Philippe Mateta. Just got that one wrong though. Here with Alisson. It's 25 minutes left here at Wembley. Crystal Palace trail 2-1 against Liverpool. Palace get that equaliser. They've been knocking on the door. That's a short. It was a cross into Sarr. He just flicked it wide, and Eze had a shot denied by Alisson. A couple of minutes ago, Alexis McAllister set to come on shortly. Head away there from Daniel Munoz. A long ball out towards the left-hand side, so I think it might be a double substitution by Arne Slot. McAllister will be one of the players coming on. Liverpool in possession with Alisson. Here is Konate. Now Frimpong goes in field. Jones holds it up against Mateta. There just looked to be a little pull on the shirt there from Mateta. And now free kick's given, and here's Jones and Kirkes who link up from it. Now Konate. Konate, line breaking pass, picks out Salah. Salah now, midway inside the Palace half. Hughes is back to win it off him, then Hughes wins the free kick as well. Great work there by Will Hughes. And Salah thought he just found himself that pocket space to turn and run at the Crystal Palace defence. Taking short the free kick, and now Gay to Eze. Eze trying to maybe take it down line. He's still behind halfway, Eze. Eze just goes short behind him to Will Hughes. It is Dean Henderson. Rolls it to Richards. Richards. And now to Munoz, inside to Wharton. Back to Richards. Palace just looking to try and keep possession here. Richards now forwards to the feet of Eze. Eze over halfway, Eze facing up. Curtis Jones, now Mitchell, inside to Eze. Eze, nice little flick back. It's the feet of Gay. And now Hughes slips it to the right hand side to Richards. And Palace having possession here, but Liverpool in a good shape. Palace not in threatened position. They're inside the centre circle, just over halfway with Lacroix. just in front of him towards the first time pass to Hughes. Now Hughes looks to give it to Sarr. Intercepted for Soberslide. Now Wirtz through towards Salah. Good recovery pace there for Gay to get in position and quickly pass it back for Henderson, who goes direct. A cushion header from Kirkes back into the Palace half. Soberslide inside left. Looking on his outside, Ekitike rolls it through though to Wirtz. That's a poor finish. It was a really nicely weighted through ball from Soberslide to Wirtz. Wirtz took it on the turn onto his right foot, leaning back though, and smashed it over. So it's Wataru Endo, the other player coming on with McAllister. So here's the midfield, which Arne Slot wants shoring up. Then really good options that he has on the bench again. Liverpool squad depth is just simply outstanding. Again, that should have been a better finish there from Florian Wirtz. And Arne Slot just has his team in. Just in this drinks break at the moment. And looking just getting some fresh impetus, and well as Oliver Glasner as well. Again, I think Liverpool's last few minutes have tamed it, but overall in this second half, Palace have actually been the better team and look to really throw the kitchen sink at Liverpool for the last 20 minutes that we have remaining, or just over 20 minutes. Simply 69.5 minutes played it at Wembley. Again, by the time both sides finish their drinks break, will be 20 minutes left, and Ekitike has had a really good debut today. For Liverpool open the scoring. Palace levelled through Mateta from the spot after Van Dijk fouled Sarr. Cool penalty from Mateta, little hop skip run up and finish it with his right foot. And then a bit of fortune for Jeremy Frimpong, which he'll gladly take. You put a cross in, too high for Salah, but also too high for Henderson. Went over him into the back of the net. Sometimes you just need that luck. So Davidson's striking for Liverpool today. Well, half of them. A few players that started. Of course, you also have Kirkes and Wirtz on the pitch, and Wirtz could have made it a trio of Davidson scoring a moment or so ago. Through the bar. So Ekitike, along with Jones, make way for McAllister and Endo in the double substitution. So Liverpool's first subs of the match. Palace had to make it a forced one first half, with Daishi Kamada coming on for Will Hughes. And Liverpool, again, we very much looking forward to trying to retain their crown this season. So many quality signings, and could there be one more than Alexander Isak? Yeah, reports coming out yesterday at Newcastle insisting they're not going to sell, but we will wait and see. It's a long ball forwards in the restart from Palace now, back on the way. Van Dijk heads forwards and Gakpo's holding it up. Counts to his first touch now to Soberslide. Soberslide, let's fly on target, but straight to Henderson. Really got a decent amount of power on it, but straight to the goalkeeper in the end. And Dominic Soberslide can't half hit a football. So Henderson short for Lacroix, who walks the ball out of the area. Lacroix drills it through the middle, too far away from Eze. And it's here now with Frimpong. It is Konate. Konate, and plenty of time for him on the ball at the moment. Short for Van Dijk, and Liverpool playing it casually in the back line at the moment. And Kirkes, he goes backwards with his left foot to Alisson's. Palace trying to box Liverpool in, but Alisson just bypasses the press. Ball over top now. Frimpong cuts inside now, runs into Wataru Endo. And Frimpong's down here. Endo's fine. Gay goes long, headed away with Wirtz in the centre circle. Frimpong's still down. A bit of concern for Liverpool, holding his right leg, and now Kirkes has to just play it out. Well, Frimpong is being treated at the moment. Again, a painful one for Frimpong. He just cut inside. It seems just ran into Wataru Endo. Endo just hit the ball off Frimpong, then ran into it. As Wharton was putting the pressure on Endo. So that's a painful one there for Jeremy Frimpong to take. Certainly struggling. He just got back on his feet. Feeling that pain there. A little bit nasty clash of legs, it seemed. Frimpong, his own teammate Wataru Endo, just come on a moment ago. Frimpong still moving gingerly. Well, with the season open in 5 days' time, again, Liverpool can't be taking a chance on him now. Sarr just plays it back for Alisson for Liverpool. Now to get things moving again. Alisson picks up over on throw to his left. Kirkes gets away from Sarr. Kirkes now looks to try and find a ball down the left, but Gakpo too far away from him. And it is back with Dean Henderson. It is Mark Gay. Short for Lacroix. Now Lacroix gives it to Gay. Gay directs, looking over the top towards Eze. Does find a better Eze. Eze knocks it down. And behind him to Mitchell, midway inside the Liverpool half. Now it's left for Eze again. Coming closer and closer towards the halfway line. And now Eze in the centre circle. Salah chasing him down. Still Eze calm in possession. Just plays it back for Richards. Lacroix just behind the centre circle. Palace in the half here. Gay now rolls it over halfway to Hughes. Back for Gay. Lacroix asks for it and receives it. Maxence Lacroix didn't go through the middle. No, just plays it to his right to Richards. Now Richards turns. Doesn't have that forward pass on. Gakpo is closing down successful. Now square from Lacroix to Richards and all the way back with Dean Henderson. Quarter now left here at Wembley, where Liverpool leading Crystal Palace by 2-1. Here is Henderson in possession. Now Adam Wharton, middle of his half, strokes it to Gay. Again with Wharton. Wharton short to Richards. Gay asking for it. Richards slowly brings it forward now, pass it in the centre circle to Mateta, dropping deep. Mateta plays it back to Richards. Here's Liverpool trying to get off Palace, but Palace actually good in possession at the moment. They're still in the half. Richards to Gay. Here's Eze. Eze again to Gay. Now Gay spreads the play. Nice switch out to the right-hand side. A flick forward to Munoz, trying to get onto his Sarr. McAllister's the first one to it. It's a smash out of bounds for a throw. Munoz takes. Hughes to Munoz. Behind him to Will Hughes. Can he get a cross in? Instead just goes the short pass to Lacroix. Gay now. Gay flips out towards the right-hand side. Header one there from Kirkes. Gakpo holds up, goes down. Hughes didn't pull his shirt. Called to Chris Kavanagh. Wharton. It's the via Sarr. Sarr off the post and in. And Crystal Palace gets an equaliser. We're just under a quarter hour left. Ismaila Sarr brings the men in red and blue level. Liverpool peeing for the free kick. Didn't get it. And then they were just sleeping at the back. And Ismaila Sarr converts. Perfect through ball for him. In front of the Palace supporters. Kept his composure. Hit off the inside the post. Will Hughes lent into Cody Gakpo. Gakpo went down. There wasn't much in that one at all. Surely that one won't be looked at. Adam Wharton, though. What a lovely through ball for Ismaila Sarr. One touch with his right, and then with that foot, finished past Alisson, off the inside the post, and into the opposite corner. And Palace have been the better team this second half, and it has paid off. Ismaila Sarr held held his nerve in front of goal. And it is 2-apiece here at Wembley. Game well and truly on in the Community Shield. And the Palace fans now in excellent voice. And Tyrone Mitchell making way. It looks like it'll be Borna Sosa, new signing over the summer to come on. It is indeed. Sosa on for Mitchell. Now let's see what tactics Palace will adopt. Will they just maybe play for extra time? Will they really go for this thing with their tails up? They should really go for this one. Kirk gets to Endo as Liverpool gets back on the way. And now Kanate. Here is Frimpong. Infield to Endo. And now pass to Kanate. Finds Florian Wirtz. Wirtz gives it away. And now is Adam Wharton. Wharton turns to Hughes. Hughes now. Into the feet of Sosa. Palace. All the momentum with them. Eze towards Sarr. Sarr takes on the chest. Sarr just make it 3-2. No, it's blocked. Sarr pinning for handball. Nothing given though. Sarr's absolutely furious. He was insistent that Kirkes blocked it with his hand. It was a brilliant block for Kirkes now. Was an arm raised? It wasn't. Well, Kirkes did have an arm raised, but actually came off his heel. Well, I can understand seeing it so quickly why they're appealing for a penalty. Well, actually, it was an arm from McAllister. McAllister handball. It was handball from McAllister. Forward fell to Sarr. That's a penalty. That's surely a penalty. I thought initially it was Kirkes they were looking at. And Will Hughes talk of the referee here. But that looked a stonewall penalty there. And VR, that's an easy one for VR to give, surely. McAllister was in the box. Clear handball. Sarr's shot was blocked for Kirkes. And I think it's no penalty. It is no penalty. Alexa McAllister. So the VR thought it came off his hand, but he did have his hand stretched out. I'll tell you what, that is a huge decision given there. Borna Sosa, 10 minutes to go, puts the corner in. Head away from Van Dijk. Hughes hits it low, blocked. Now can Liverpool counter. Soboslai tackle from Hughes. And that will roll out of play. Or throw to Liverpool. Contentious decision there though. It hit McAllister's hand inside the box. But it wasn't outstretched enough, according to VR, for it to be given at least looked at by Chris Kavanagh at the monitor. Harvey Elliott to come on shortly. Again, heavy link with the move away from his boyhood club this summer. McAllister turns from the throw, and it was a foul on the far side. So a free kick for Liverpool. VR's behind halfway. And Alisson just has the ball there, pings it out towards the far side for the free kick to be taken. Midway inside the Liverpool half. So free kick now taken. Back here with Alisson. Alisson out towards the far side. Header down there from Sosa. And now Eze's a bit of handball, nothing given. Endo runs into traffic. Hughes tries to get off him, but McAllister has it now. Here's Van Dijk, square for Kirkes. Liverpool approaching halfway. Kirkes now into the Gakpo and field to Soboslai. And now Liverpool down the left-hand side. Low cross, it's shot for Salah straight at Dean Henderson. And that was a big chance there for Liverpool. Low cross in. Hit down into the ground and should have done better there, Salah. Opportunity goes begging. Here is Wharton. And now to Gay. Short here for Lacroix. And now Henderson has it again. And it's Dean Henderson short for Lacroix. Long ball towards halfway. Sarr guides it on with the back of his head. Here's Munoz, good challenge there from Kirkes. Now Wirtz, his feet McAllister's pass is blocked. And now Sarr. Sarr to run of Eze in the middle. Sarr taking on Van Dijk. Sarr holds up Munoz. Cuts it back from Mateta. Mateta scuffs the shot miles over. And that is a huge chance for Jean-Philippe Mateta to well and truly wrap things up. The cutback was perfect for Munoz. It was just a lackadaisical finish there on Mateta. Got it all wrong, leaning back, too far on the ball. Again, we are heading towards a penalty shootout here at Wembley. Again, no extra time in the Community Shield. Certainly is the right thing with the season. I'm not doing it. Overtire the players, despite they do need the minutes in the legs. But now Wirtz off for Harvey Elliott. Could he be the game-changing substitute? A Liverpool need Andy Robertson also on for Milos Kirkes. And Palace making change their own as well. So is Adam Wharton going off. He's absolutely excellent today, Wharton. Of course, there's some misplaced passes, but this always wants to pass forward. Again, he put a lovely through ball for the equaliser, second equaliser of Crystal Palace, scored by Ismaila Sarr, and it is Jefferson Lerma on this place. Already a bit of a cult hero at Crystal Palace. Alisson's goal kick sails straight out of bounds. So a throw for Palace. Again, they have been the better side this second half. Throw taken. It's back here with Richards. Infield to Lacroix. First touch for Lerma. For Richards. Now Mateta holds up on halfway, flicks it back to Jefferson Lerma. Heavy touch from him. And now Van Dijk. That was a over it pass forwards though. Van Dijk just went in between Gakpo and Salah. Here's an overarm throw from Dean Henderson. Richards can't find Mateta. And now here's Harvey Elliott. Into the feet of Salah. Salah now moves it to his right to Frimpong. 35 yards and goal. Here's Jeremy Frimpong. Elliott back for Frimpong. Can Liverpool get moving forwards here? Well, Frimpong goes backwards to give it to Elliott once more. Just under 5 minutes left here at Wembley. Normal time. Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 2. Good block there from Munoz from Robertson's pass. And Liverpool, and they show them again, show their champion steel and managed to get a winning goal. Otherwise, this is going to penalties. Rotating for Liverpool, and it's straight back to the Palace defence. Where Lacroix clears, and as far as Endo. And now Elliott. Elliott, can he give it to Frimpong? Elliott still has it. Looking to move the ball a few yards further forwards. Goes short to Endo and field, back for Elliott. And now Frimpong. Frimpong looking to cut in. Frimpong now to Endo. Liverpool play it back, Konate. Here is Van Dijk. Now McAllister can look for the middle. McAllister, nice little depth pass to Soberslite. Soberslite inside left. Just under 30 yards and goal. Here's the number 10, McAllister. And now Soberslite. Soberslite, line breaking pass to McAllister. Endo, now to Elliott. Edge of the D, Elliott still has it. Back for Endo. Cushion pass out to the right to Salah. Can he create a bit of his typical genius? And to Salah, low crossing, cleared away. And that was a foul there on a Bereze by Salah. Free kick for Crystal Palace. And Salah felt he had to make that foul to stop Eze getting away, and he's taken a yellow card for the team. And Salah, but again, they always rely on his genius. Liverpool to get him through, but at the moment, he struggled to create in this match, Mo Salah. So here's a free kick for Henderson to take. Henderson now towards the far side, headed on towards Mateta, play backwards, and Van Dijk, Konate heads out the box. Elliott can't control, Hughes trying to get onto it, Elliott does clear it in the end. And the second 50-50, now Elliott wins it again against Munoz. And there's a push there from Munoz into the back of Harvey Elliott. So it is a free kick for Liverpool, and it's short for Van Dijk. Castor asking for it, but it goes to Endo instead, who's located in between the two centre-backs of Liverpool. Here's Van Dijk, and now Robertson inside to McAllister. Back to Robertson by Soberslide. Again, Andy Robertson making movement in field. It's McAllister just behind halfway, zips it out towards Frimpong. What a pass there. Frimpong controls. Little slip there from Borna Sosa. And now Elliott in field. Endo back for Konate. Liverpool just over 25 yards and goal inside right. Konate to Van Dijk. Just the front of the centre circle. Now Robertson tries to play in the box, cleared away from Richards. Sarr to Munoz. Munoz appealing for handball against Robertson. And that has been given against the Scotsman, who will fight tooth and nail to keep his place in the side this season. Yeah, Palace fans, an excellent voice, and again, just like their team, they give him everything this afternoon. And they're well and with a chance to win this. Last minute normal time, 2 apiece. Yeah, two teams can't be separated. Straight to the penalty shootout. So Dean Henderson, free kick drilled, right-footed through the centre. Easy head away for Van Dijk. Salah chased it down, header from the centre circle from Lacroix. McAllister on the stretch. Nice it to Frimpong. Liverpool just inside the half. Frimpong clips it low to Endo. Now Endo back to Alisson. Alisson drags it with his right foot. Alisson clears his lines. Header on there from Borna Sosa. Touch there from McAllister. Acrobatic clearance away, bit of improvisation there from McAllister. And now Eze to Sosa. Here's Eze. Eze looking to cut in. Palace about 30 yards and goal with Jefferson Lerma. Lerma to Hughes. Hughes now turns. Here is Richards bringing it forwards. Down his outside to Munoz. So now we are into stoppage time. Margay's limping here. Ball into the box. It drops into Borna Sosa, lifts it in, but not a lot of power at all. Easy catch there for Alisson. Over on throw. Now for Harvey Elliott. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Elliott down the right for Salah. Salah taking on Lacroix. Salah, good standing challenge there by Maxence Lacroix. Corner kick for Liverpool on the right hand side, and Margay's down here. Huge blow for Palace if he has to come off, albeit we've only got 5 minutes of open play time left. Otherwise it's a penalty shootout, but again Salah tried to take the shot, but Gay I think's pulled something. But he's limping here. Surely has to come off Mark Gay. He's going to try and fight through it. So first minute of the 5 played. Liverpool corner kick to take. Score stand at 2 apiece. I don't think Gay's going to be able to continue. Justin Devaney's about to come on here for Crystal Palace. So corner kick on the right hand side for Liverpool. Could this be the moment for the Reds? Elliott takes it to the centre, headed away from Lacroix. McAllister lays it down, chop and someone slide through. A load of bodies, but straight into the hands of Dean Henderson. That's a nice layoff there from McAllister. Soberslide drilled it low into the gap of Munoz and Richards. Now Palace have it here with Lerma in the centre circle. Lerma turns. Back here for Hughes. Gay's down again. He surely has to come off. Mark Gay. Palace in possession here with Hughes, and now Hughes has to kick it out of play. Mark Gay definitely making way. And Palace be hoping it's nothing serious for Mark Gay. And rumours with him possibly making a move to Liverpool this summer. Gay, well, if he's injured, then it'll be a blow for those chances. And Gay really struggling to walk off here. Not a nice sight at all with the season approaching now. Chelsea a week today, away from home for Crystal Palace to start their season off with. So Oliver Glasner and just letting his players know maybe what the tweaks are with Mark Gay coming off. And stand ovation though for the Palace fans, for their captain, and the first ever man to lift silverware for Crystal Palace here at Wembley last month. So Gay makes way for Crystal Palace, and looks like it will be Justin Devaney to come on. It is indeed. So Devaney on the field. I think that'll be a change of shape as well for Palace, I imagine so. Well, actually no, it isn't. Jefferson Lerma playing left side, the back three. So it's a long ball for Henderson, and a nicely guided header back from Van Dijk to his goalkeeper. Alisson now inside the deep to Konate. Here is Frimpong, minute away from penalties, and it was penalties last year as well. We've seen the two Manchester clubs where it was United were victorious in that one. Elliott into Theo Robertson. Robertson's cross into the centre, well grabbed there from Henderson. That was an inviting cross in by Andy Robertson, but Dean Henderson got down to it. And yeah, very inviting there from Andy Robertson. Head away from Van Dijk. So one last chance. Liverpool gets away from Frimpong. Palace head over halfway. Bruno Sosa to Barry Eze. Eze gets the ball stuck on his feet, trying to fight for it. The ball deflects off Justin Devaney. In the end, out for throw. Surely now it will be penalties. 15 seconds left of stoppage time. Jeremy Frimpong take the throw. About 10 yards behind halfway. Frimpong still looking who to throw the ball to. So is Frimpong going to release it? Still Frimpong waiting to release it now. McAllister to Frimpong. Cleared away there by Jefferson Lerma. Headed down for Konate. Well, will Hughes inside left now. Eze just behind the box. Eze sets up for Justin Devaney. Devaney shot just wide. He could have been the hero, the youngster, off the bench. And that wasn't too far away at all from going into the bottom corner. Justin Devaney, a whisker away from winning the Community Shield for Crystal Palace. Oh, so close there. Palace have been the better team this second half. They would have deserved that. But it looks like it now will be penalties. Almost a minute over the 5 allotted at stoppage time. Alisson with the goal kick, and it is a penalty shootout in this Community Shield. 2 apiece between Palace and Liverpool. Hugo Ekitike and Jeremy Frimpong for Liverpool open their accounts. Ekitike in the 4th minute. Lovely turn and rolled finish with his right foot into the bottom corner. Schofield and Mateta level things up from the spot after Van Dijk caught Sarr in the box. Mateta finished. It was Mishmala Sarr with the equaliser for Crystal Palace. 77th minute. Poor play from Soboslai midfield, gave it away, and then Wharton thread it through for Ismaila Sarr to finish off the post. And Palace could have won at the end for Justin Devaney. Had more chances as well, Palace. Eze's shot saved from Alisson shortly before that. It was Sarr that flicked header wide. And that was both those chances was when the score was 2-1 to Liverpool. And Liverpool just didn't really get going second half, and just felt only a matter of time. Well, Palace got that equaliser, and could have very easily won at the end. And Liverpool, Palace certainly showing their promise that they can have really good seasons. Of course, Liverpool looking to defend their Premier League crown. Palace, can they manage Europe in the Premier League? But I think Palace fans just be eager as well to await what European competition they'll be playing in next season. The hearings tomorrow, but for now, penalty shootout coming up shortly. Team Palace and Liverpool. And again, it was a real entertaining match, that's for sure. Again, Liverpool, their new players certainly impressing today. Again, half of them getting on the score sheet. But didn't quite have his finishing boots on, but still, his all-round play was very impressive. Shootout to commence very shortly. Again, the full-time score, Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 2, but just that weight of ball from Adam Wharton to Jamal Assar was absolutely perfect. And it's all for a sec, when the Assar shot initially came off the post, would it go into the back of the net? It did indeed. So, coin toss now about to happen. Seeing that Van Dijk, well, thought was going to, obviously, it was set to be Mark Gay, but he came off right at the end. So Bereze has captain's duties here. Julian Speroni, Palace legend, now goalkeeping coach, just in conversation with Dean Henderson. Coin toss, so that looks like the coin toss now commences, and just waiting to see what end the shootout will be at. So we are ready now for a shootout to start, and I think it will be in front of the Palace fans. Dean Henderson, he revels in these sort of situations. Outlandish character that he is. And certainly he can try and produce some magic. Again, at Wembley, saved Erling Haaland's penalty in the FA Cup final. Can he step up to the plate once more, Dean Henderson, to be a hero for Palace this time as well? So discussions are over as to who will be taking the penalties. The list are finalised, and we are ready now for the 2025 Community Shield to finish off with a penalty shootout. Well, actually, it looks like I thought it was going to be up the Palace end. I thought Palace won the toss, but it looks like actually it will be in front of the Liverpool fans. So just Kavanagh just talking with both goalkeepers. So it looks like actually it was Liverpool who was successful in the toss, and yeah, it'll be up the Liverpool end. So both keepers now finished their chat, the referee. We are all ready, so we'll be in front of the Liverpool supporters. And it looks like Palace are first up. So, looks like is it Palace first up again? I thought because Dean Henderson was walking to the side. No, I think Dean Henderson just putting his towel down, so it's Liverpool first up. So Liverpool are first up in the shootout. Dean Henderson, a bit of mind games, Dean Henderson. Fooled me there, thought it was going to be Palace taking first, but no. Mo Salah to set the tempo for Liverpool, getting up and running in this shootout. So Henderson now, cap on, all ready. Salah, deep breath from him. So can he start off the shootout properly? Mo Salah, hands on hips. That's penalty. Enter a bit of jumping on spot. Salah over the bar! Over the bar, would you believe it? If there was anyone wanted taking your first penalty, it is Mo Salah. But he's blazed that one miles over the bar into his adoring supporters. So advantage Palace already, if they can convert here. So Jean-Philippe Mateta already scored a penalty today. Can lightning strike twice? Mateta plants the ball down the spot. Can Alisson keep this one level? So Palace, they get their penalty shootout going the right way. Mateta into the bottom corner. Alisson went the right way, down to his left. But it didn't matter. Superb composure there from Jean-Philippe Mateta. Stroked it in step his right foot. Perfectly placed. Alisson right way, but still got no near it. So Palace lead the shootout by a 1-0. So it is Alexis McAllister next up for Arne Slot's men. McAllister now steps back. He's already McAllister, shaping to take it with his right foot standing. So diagonally behind the ball, McAllister with his right foot. It's safe for Dean Henderson. Down to his left-hand side. What an awful start for Liverpool in this penalty shootout. It was such a telegraph penalty. You could clearly see McAllister was taking it with his right foot down to Henderson's left. That's exactly what happened. Henderson read it, full stretched. And Liverpool are having a nightmare the shootout. So can Palace double their advantage. Mateta got them going. And next up will be a Barry Eze. What can he make up for that penalty miss at Newcastle in the league back in April? 5-0 defeat Eze. Off-skip run up Eze. Right footed. And Alisson saves. And Liverpool have hope. And once again, Eze's very slow run up hasn't worked. Outwitted by Pope at St James's. And now by Alisson at Wembley. Alisson down to his right. Now, was he off his line when it was taken? That's the question. There's a penalty tipped onto the post by Alisson. Alisson, that was a fine save. And it won't need to be retaken. Did have a foot on the line, Alisson. To Gakpo, to level things on Gakpo. Into the bottom corner. And Liverpool are level for now. Cody Gakpo, great finish there. In step is right, but still Palace can get their lead back here. Ismail Assar. So pressure for him. He scored the equaliser to take this to penalties. So can Alisson. Trance once more. Can Palace keep their advantage? Sarr. Hands on hips, deep breath. Sarr now. Very slow run up. Getting a little hesitation. Sarr. Oh, it's an excellent penalty. Took his time, but a right-footed penalty beyond the reach of Alisson. That's another penalty Palace has scored where Alisson's guessed the right way to his left, but again, the penalty's been so good. It's been too far away from him. Again, a slow run up from Sarr, just like Eze, but unlike Eze, Sarr placed it to perfection, and Palace still lead the shootout by 2-1. So now, fourth penalty for Liverpool to take. Harvey Elliott, and just calm himself. Can he keep Liverpool alive in this shootout? If Dean Henderson saves, then Palace score the next one. They will win the Community Shield for the first ever time. Harvey Elliott, left footed penalty. Henderson saves once again, and he's all set to be the hero. Awful penalty from Harvey Elliott, but take nothing away from Dean Henderson. Down to his right-hand side. And now Palace are one kick away. Just had a quick look at his water bottle. Tucked inside his flannel, Dean Henderson. And of course, I'll have all the names of where they go with the penalty shoots, the penalty kicks, and now a chance of Borna Sosa to win it for Palace. Sosa off the top of the crossbar, and still Liverpool have hope. Borna Sosa, left-footed penalty. Allison's right, but it came off the top of the crossbar. And still, Liverpool are in this. But if Dean Henderson makes a third save, then Liverpool will be defeated in the shootout. Szoboszlai has to score here. Otherwise, it's Palace's Community Shield. Dean Henderson revels in moments like this. Palace fans certainly looking nervous now. Szoboszlai takes a penalty. Oh, it's a brilliant penalty. Smashed it. Right-footed. Henderson guessed the right way. Szoboszlai took it to the keeper's left. But Henderson just dived too low. Excellent penalty up from Szoboszlai. Into the corner. So Palace have the chance to win it here. So it looks like it's going to be Justin Devenny, the young man off the bench. Almost could have won it in normal time to win the game 3-2, but he could win the penalty shootout 3-2 here. Justin Devenny, has he got nerves of steel for Crystal Palace? Deep breath from Devenny. Devenny steps up, left-footed. Oh, it's a beautiful penalty! 21 years of age, and the Scotsman has won it for Crystal Palace. Smashed it with his left foot. Zero chance to Alisson, and the Palace players celebrated from the Liverpool fans. And it's historic. First Community Shield for Crystal Palace, and their joyous trips to Wembley continued. And the English football season curtain raiser belongs to Crystal Palace this year. They won the Community Shield. They had to do it the hard way, coming back from behind twice in normal time in a 2-2 draw. And Justin Devenny, winning penalty, but Dean Henderson, the big hero of course, 2 saves in that shootout from him. What an outstanding performance from him. As for Liverpool, don't start the season the way they wanted to, but it was a really good game. Positives to them with their new signing scoring, but Palace deserved it. They were the better team second half, got that equaliser, and they've come up chumps in the shootout to win the 2025 Community Shield. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.